And off to Settles, left side. Finds some open room. Far sideline. Cameron Settles. First offensive play from scrimmage for the Parkview Patriots. Turns into 6 points for the future Razorback. Touchdown, Parkview.
All the tools that Parkview has in the tool bag right now.
Jermaine Penny off the touch pass. Left side. End zone. Touchdown, Parkview. The Fiend, Jermaine Penny. Nelson in motion. And play
There
action. Bunting fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Parkview. Chase White. Wow. Bunting under center. He's going to keep it. And he's over the goal line for a touchdown. Strongman football.
That is strongman football. Anything you can do, we can do better. Win.
First down and 10 from the 11. They have to get to the 1 for a first. Q's going to keep it himself again. And he's a tough runner as well as he has a quarterback. And there is why. Touchdown, Quentin Murphy.
Really nice to see Quentin get back into the game.
Second down and goal from the 8. And off to Money. Great blocks. Driving up the middle. Touchdown, Parkview.
Once again, great job pulling stop-start. My main man, I love watching that stop-start for Money.
The dynamic offense this Patriots team is. Now Bunting will throw screen pass to Jermaine Penny. Jermaine Penny off the screen. Sideline. End zone. J.C. Penny. Touchdown, Parkview. That's a trip to the right. Bunting looks to throw. He's looking to his right to Jermaine Penny. Penny, great block by Elson.
Oh, what the
Penny
move!
gets away. Jermaine Penny, are you kidding me? That's why I call him the Fiend. He shook a man out of his shoes. Touchdown, Parkview. Here I was thinking that if you hit the punter at all, that's an automatic first. And look out again. He has to run it, and the ball is on the ground. Picked up by Ja'Cory. Wow! Ja'Cory Smith totally redeeming himself with a touchdown. Absolute chaos. That's what. Oh yes. Now Bunting looks to throw. Fires end zone. Jermaine Penny. Touchdown, Parkview. And another touchdown to Jermaine's personal total tonight. Before halftime. Bunting fires, end zone, touchdown! Jermaine Conway! Under a minute left. Got a new quarterback in. A new running back too, look out! That's Quentin Murphy at running back! He can do it all! Touchdown, Parkview!
This is it. The state semifinals. Win or go home. Lose, you go home. Win, you're going to the state championship game. Welcome to our broadcast booth here tonight on the Patriots Sports Network. Brought to you by Natural State Sports alongside the great Brett Kincaid. I'm Trip Keeter. Brett, it's great to have you back.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. Off of the injured list this week. Excited to be in the booth for this one. You know, Parkview's going home either way. It's just, do we get to play or do we get to just go back with their tail between our legs? I think that's the question. Is I think that's the mantra all week. Is all right, boys, we got to get out of here.
Yep.
Let's get home. Let's get back to our stadium.
Yeah.
Let's finish the deal. We're on the precipice. Let's go close it.
And many say it's almost fitting that Parkview plays at War Memorial Stadium because, of course, that's where the state championship is played. And for the third straight year, they want to go back.
That's right, and it's about finishing the deal at this point. You know, it's as you're the one seed, you kind of expect to be at home. The way this worked out, it's a road game for Parkview. Yet again, road tested. Have been on the road a couple of times this season. Had the long trips. This is an easier trip than heading to South Arkansas. It's a straight shot.
Yeah.
So a smoother ride. Watching, we were out there watching the kids pregame, talking to coaches. They're loose, they're focused. I feel like this is a team that wants to go home with the dub.
Speaking of the road to get here, let's take a look at it for Parkview. Starting off with a pretty dominant victory over the Win Yellow Jackets, 42-10. That game started slow in the first quarter, then all of a sudden the train started rolling, and it was all uphill, all downhill from there for the Patriots. Maumelle getting a 1-point win over Greenbrier earned their right to face the Patriots. A little bit of a controversy for this game because we didn't know where we were going to play it.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
Yeah, Parkview was the home team, but they couldn't play at their home stadium due to a scheduling conflict as Catholic was playing that same night. So we had to move the game after many cooperations and meetings to J.A. Fair. And the score tells you how it went.
Yeah, Maumelle got off the bus ready to lose that game. I think Parkview was ready to run. And you talked about win. You know, we've seen that a couple of times this year, more than a couple of times. We saw it against DeQueen. We saw it against Magnolia. We even saw it against Fairview when they had to come back to win. Parkview getting off to a slow start is something they want to avoid tonight because you don't want to give Valley View any hope. Obviously not a problem last week. Got off to a fast start against Maumelle.
And now let's take a look at Valley View's bracket and see what it took for them to get here, because they are coming into this game without a single loss. They are 12-0, both teams number one in their brackets, and Valley View is above Parkview in the East bracket, so that's why Valley View is hosting tonight, and the scores kind of speak for themselves as offensively and score-wise, Valley View and Parkview put up similar numbers, and Valley View had their number called. Morrilton had them on their toes. They went into overtime.
Yeah, that Morrilton game, we went back and watched the tape again earlier this week, and, Valley View is very fortunate to be here, but, sometimes when you're on a run, you just the ball bounces your way. Morrilton, 3 turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
That killed two of them killed their drives. One of them set up the first Valley View touchdown. And then after Morrilton takes the lead with 2.5 to go, they give up a kick return for a touchdown.
Yep.
Valley View, to their credit, they took advantage of the opportunities that were given to them. I think, Morrilton, one of the more prolific scoring teams, as you see as they took out Searcy, putting up 8 touchdowns. It's, Morrilton's going to score on anybody. Valley View just took advantage of the opportunities and the Morrilton mistakes.
Speaking of taking advantage, let's take a look at some of the key players of tonight's game, because both teams have some talent. Looking offensively, starting with Emmanuel Bunting, who came into this game. He didn't start as a starter, but had to come in due to a multitude of reasons, and he's been lighting it up. Look at that, over 1,200 yards.
Yeah, every team, it starts with the quarterback. E-Man has come in. He throws just a great ball. He's decisive with the ball. He knows what he wants to do with the ball. And then it also gives you a lot of confidence as a quarterback when you have somebody like Cam Suttles that you can hand it off to, or Montario Elson, who you can hand it off to. Like, when you have those types of backs that are going to get you the tough yardage, it makes it a little bit easier for somebody like E-Man to sit back, relax, and pick apart the secondary, which he's done to great effect this season.
The arsenal offensively is just so explosive, because not only, like as you said, Emmanuel Bunting just throwing bombs all over the field, but you have that dynamic backfield
Yeah.
with guys like Cameron Settles and Money Elson, just their speed alone.
Well, and E-Man's a threat with the ball, too.
Yeah.
And then we'll see the change of pace, perhaps, with Q coming into the ball game as well, getting some more snaps at quarterback, another great runner with the football. And then you look at Valley View's defensively, like they have been dominant in their conference. I think the question about Valley View coming into tonight that will settle on the field is, did they get fat on a weaker schedule? I think we'll find that out because you look at some of the teams that they've played. The only common opponent we have is Wynn.
Right.
And, of course, Parkview dispatched with Wynn rather easily. But Valley View has done – all you can do is play the teams that you're on your schedule. They've done it. They've run the table. So you have to give kudos to Valley View for coming in and taking care of business all season.
One name that catches my eye is the cornerback, R.J. Eastrick. He's got 6 interceptions on the year, and it's his sophomore year, and one – ran back for a touchdown, so he might be the biggest threat to E-Man tonight.
Was good against Morrilton. I saw him make a couple of good plays. They were trying to pick on the young kid, and he did not relent last week.
Here's some impact players swapping the fields for both teams. Defensively for Parkview, it's been pretty healthy for the time being. Ja'Cory Smith, Chris Edwards, and Micah Johnson are impact players for the Patriots, and you could see why. Just the Ja'Cory Smith leading the team in tackles. It's Chris Edwards and Micah Johnson, who are pretty much halfway in terms of tackles for him, but they still make that impact.
They do. The numbers speak for themselves, but then you also have, 3B would be the other Edwards, Jeremy, controlling the end. But you look at Valley View, everything begins and ends with Drew Gartman. Their quarterback does everything that they can. Everything for Valley View runs through the quarterback position. He's a very effective runner. He has proven to be a good passer. They were throwing the ball a lot early in the season and have switched to running the ball a little bit more the second half of the season. And Gartman is the straw that stirs the drink.
Yes.
Other than him, they have a bunch of, as we note here, a bunch of different running backs are going to come through all year or through all night to get them, the extra yards they need. But really, you have to key on Gartman if you're Parkview defense. You cannot. You can't let Gartman be the one who beats you on the ground.
Yeah, to your point, just look at Gartman's numbers on the year. Funny thing is, I thought this was interesting. This is last season he earned all-state honors as a receiver.
That's right.
And now here he is playing quarterback, and he's been lighting it up, not only both in passing but in rushing.
And most of those 1,200 yards came in the second half of the season as well. They kind of figured it out, their offense, and they've been rolling. They really have been a very effective offensive machine.
As we start to close out our first half of the pregame show, let's look at the 5-year recap for the Parkview Patriots, because it's been a long road to get here. Obviously, they're looking for their 3rd straight championship. Looking at here, 2020, Parkview was a 6A school.
Those first 2 seasons, you look at the win totals, and they don't blow you away like they have the last couple of years. But they were playing a class up.
They were playing teams like you see there in 2020, they lost at Sylvan Hills in the quarterfinal. 2021, still in 6A, 7-3 was their regular season record, and they lost at Greenwood, a powerhouse.
Yeah, Greenwood in the playoffs is, goodness, a few teams are better in the playoffs than Greenwood is. And also you look at losing to Benton and Lake Hamilton, 2 6A powers still.
And then 2022, 8-2 in the regular season, won the 5A state titles. That was the first of this run over Shiloh Christian, and they had a common opponent the next season in 2023 after going 10-0 and with a regular season win at 7A Bryant, which just lit the state on fire that year.
Yeah, that was as big a win as you could come up with in recent history in Arkansas high school football when Parkview took out Bryant. And then that was just I think after that it was almost a fait accompli, knowing that Parkview's going to be right back at War Memorial Stadium at the end of the season, and then turned out Shiloh, which is now up a class.
Yeah.
They're probably thrilled to not have to deal with Parkview this year. And then and then we look at it. You were talking about conference opponents and the strength of the South that's often been overlooked in the past.
Yeah.
Fairview, Texarkana plays Valley View well, but loses. They're one of the, they're the 4th seed out of the conference.
Yep.
You had Fairview win a playoff game.
Yeah.
You've had Lakeside advance to the semifinals as well, and here Parkview is. This is a very strong football conference, the 5A South.
Yeah, Road Warriors, I think, is a good way to recap the season, because we start going as far out to Texas. The first game of the season, week 0, all the way out to Texas. This is a 1-day trip for them on the bus on a Saturday. Drive to Melissa, win, drive home, and get you some rest. And then thankfully for them, they didn't have to go very far for the second game of the season, which was at Maumelle, a much closer game
Right.
in that one than it was last week. And then you and I have seen pretty much the same thing all season long, losing to Bryant, and it was all over for everybody else ahead of there because that one loss to Bryant, it was a real pain in their chest, a bad taste in their mouth.
And a wake-up call
and
that it's time to – you can't just line up and beat somebody. You have to get after them every single week. You have to practice like you play. You got to – if you want to get back to War Memorial Stadium, you have got to practice hard every day, never take an opponent lightly, and come out ready to play football.
We got a little bit more to talk about after this here on the Patriot Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. Trip Keeter welcoming you back to our broadcast booth alongside the great, I got to keep saying that because it's true, Brett Kincaid. Now, Brett, I'm going to ask you a question. What does Valley View have to do to win this game?
Well, Valley View, number one, offensively, it's trite to say, hold on to the football, shorten the game. Got to really lean into that run game. They're going to do a lot of design quarterback runs. They do a lot of loads and traps with their quarterback. And then defensively, you've got to shut down that Parkview running game. Nobody's been able to do it effectively, but they're 14-0. Or they're trying to be 14-0. This is an undefeated team. They feel like they have the power to do it. They have to stifle that running game for Parkview.
Two very powerful run games on both sides as well. And
wow, you pretty much covered it all.
Thank you. And now if you'll please remain standing for the playing of the Valley View.
Welcome you back to our broadcast booth after the national anthem. Finishing up on the keys to win for Valley View. They will want to blitz their linebackers because Parkview is going to be explosive up the middle.
Well, so one of the things that I was talking with you guys about earlier in the week that I'm excited to see play out is Valley View runs a three-man front.
Yeah.
That is, designed, in order to stop the run game with the three-man front, you have to have active outside linebackers.
Yes.
And they have to be able to move laterally. That's one of the things that that Parkview's been able to exploit against many of the opponents that we played is the speed on the edge.
Yeah.
Getting to the outside has been one of the most important elements of the Parkview offense.
It has, yes.
With those outside zone runs. Because then it generally opens up on the four-man front, opens up those three techniques, and you have more room in the middle for someone like Cam to just power. Not going to have that against Valley View. Now, the thing is, they only have a 3-man front.
Yeah.
If you run middle the whole time and kind of move to the inside zone and run between guard and tackle or guard and center, all of a sudden, what are they going to do? Are they going to blitz those linebackers? Are they going to cheat safeties up? Because we've seen people try to cheat safeties up, and E-man makes you pay over the middle.
He does, yes. Have we even seen a 3-man front
It's
this
the first
entire
time I
season?
remember seeing it. I wasn't with you at Melissa, but every other team we played runs four down linemen.
Yeah, I believe so. I think they did the same thing at Melissa as well. Now let's take a look at the keys to win for the Parkview Patriots. On offense, you want to hold on to the ball. It's going to be a cold night, so it might be a little harder for Bunting to throw the ball. It was cold last week, but it wasn't as cold as it is tonight.
And you're on the road, and everything's just a little bit different. You're out of sorts. You're out of your rhythms. I think that the guys have proven, if Fairview was cold and wet, not this cold, but we had the element of wet field on top of it and rain during the game. So I think that, fumbling has not been a big problem. I know Quentin had a problem earlier and then ended up having a shoulder injury on top of it all. Since Bunting has taken over full time, he's been able to hold on the football well.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen it out of the running backs either. But still, when you're, Parkview is, let's be clear, this is a road game at an undefeated team. Parkview is still expected to win this ball game. So in order to do that, they're going to have to hold on to the football. And then you look at, we talk about, like, keep it simple, stupid. Just run the rock.
Yeah.
This is what they can do. Take advantage of size and gaps against against a 3-man front. And then also, like, I noticed a lot of the things offensively or defensively for Valley View. Morrilton had success with motions, and the linebackers and ends were biting on those.
Yeah.
If you bite against that against Parkview, backside pass is going to be open, and that's something that I'll be watching for tonight.
One thing that caught my eye, too, with Parkview's defensive keys, it mentions Drew Gartman twice.
Yeah.
Their entire offense, Valley View's, is around him. It centers around him. And also, look at there at the bottom. Don't let him get outside the pocket, which that could be an advantage defensively for Parkview because we have those explosive edge rushers that have had such a presence all season long.
I think Jeremy Edwards is going to be kind of the X factor defensively.
Yeah.
We've seen him rush the passer very well and play the run game. He's going to have to be able to hold up that tackle and step outside and make sure that Gartman doesn't come out. Gartman is good in the pocket. He's better on the run.
Yeah.
So don't let him get outside and throw.
Absolutely not. And this is probably our most complete pregame show yet. Will has done an amazing job getting these graphics up and running all season long. This guy's been working his tail off while also working a full-time job. So a big shout-out to our man, Will Watkins.
Well, we are well-produced today, Tripp. We're in good shape.
We are
and
a
we
well-oiled
were talking
machine.
about the stats earlier, looking at what Parkview has been able to do offensively this season. And then you see what Valley View gives up this season. Valley View is giving up giving about 3.5 yards per rush on the year. If Parkview can if they're giving up 3.5 against non-Parkview schools, Parkview should have great success running the football. Again, that 3-man front is a great if you're playing against spread pass teams, which is what you see a lot of in the East, that makes more sense. Against a power run team like Parkview, that could be a real problem. That's the matchup I'm going to be watching most.
Yes.
When Parkview has the ball, I'm going to be watching to see what those linemen do, what sort of linebacker stunts do they run, do they cheat those safeties up? If they have a bandit position, kind of an extra rover type, free safety that kind of plays close to the line. Are they going to cheat him up even further, or are they going to lean back and dare Parkview to run and then try to shorten the field and cut off those passing lanes as you get in the red zone?
There's been a lot of surprises and could be a lot of surprises tonight. Here's a surprise to me. We know who our officiating crew is tonight. So let's give them
make sure we know exactly where to direct the ire if it becomes necessary.
I don't think Will's ready for there they are, our referee, Daniel Faulkner, umpire, Michael Hannon, head linesman, Will Pruitt, line judge, Stuart Norton, and back judge, David Ward. How awesome is that?
Daniel Faulkner in the white hat. He's going to be the one that we can
rely on.
We can reliably say, Mr. Faulkner, was that a good call or not?
Have to keep an eye on him because he's the one. We got to read his signals, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The team captains are making their way to the field. My goodness gracious, this is an electric feeling here in this press box.
So Valley View, let's say up their senior nose tackle, Everett Thomas, number 73. Laird Cullen, the senior wide receiver, and number 24, Nick Gamble, senior defensive end, as their captains for tonight's ball game. Looking across the field, our Patriots coming out. Looks like no surprise there. Money and O'Marion leading the way.
And look, I was about to say, look who's back. Man is dressed and ready to go for this game. I mean, what a pleasant surprise. He is healthy and ready to go. Just 2 weeks ago, he was walking around with the cast on, or I think just a boot, really.
A boot, yeah. And boot against Wynn.
Boot against Wynn.
No boot, but a limp last week.
Yeah, no boot, but he was just kind of walking around, and now here he is in pads tonight. So we will be looking out to see if he will be
whether
playing
he's
tonight.
on the field or not, it doesn't matter. This is an emotional lift right now. And one thing I heard one of the Valley View supporters say as we were walking in, they were walking past, and this is something that has happened a lot to Parkview opponents. Is I heard the gentleman say, "I just hope we don't lose pregame." You know, and that means I hope that we aren't intimidated. I hope that we are not overwhelmed by the buzzsaw that is Parkview coming into our stadium, which has happened a lot. Even good teams get a little intimidated by this, kind of this dynasty that's being built in South Little Rock.
So Valley View has won the toss and elected to receive the opening kickoff. A very, honestly, a wise decision as we were talking about our offensive keys. Because they want to shorten the game by running the ball. They want to keep Parkview's offense off the field for as long as they can.
Well, and they're an incredibly competent offensive team. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I think Parkview can do some things to slow them down, but Valley View has a very effective offense.
Yes.
They're going to script out those this first series, probably 10 to 15 plays. They will know exactly what they're doing. That instills confidence, not just in the players, but in the coaching staff. They know what they're going to do when they get the ball.
Yep.
So that they feel like they can come out and establish dominance right away, even if they don't score. They can maybe move the football, flip the field position, which is what you're going to do. One thing also I wanted to note earlier, I was looking at, they have a very strong special teams. Good, they returned a kick for a touchdown last year. They also have a strong kickoff game. I noticed a couple of times they were kicking Morrilton to the goal line or beyond and into the end zone on the kickoffs. So this is a team that's complete. This is. They're undefeated for a reason, and Parkview has got to come in ready to play right away. And defensively, we're going to find out if those keys to the game are we'll see how well they execute those keys. Q on QB1, you've got to stop Gartman, and then really you got to clamp down on Jones and Parker King, numbers 1 and 6 on the outside. Those two can make plays in open field.
You're absolutely right. And you talk about wanting to win the pregame. We were down there during Parkview's warm-ups. They were locked in. They had absolutely almost no swagger or overconfidence. They were just locked in, ready to go, loosening up. And look at this. We see it down there right there in the end zone. They are a well-oiled machine, even doing their pregame chant, of course, led by the one and only Man. Glad to see him healthy and back, and glad to see the Parkview Patriots taking the field here for the semifinals.
Looking very clean and white head to toe.
Oh, yes.
This is a team that likes to play good. They like to look good. They were, as you mentioned, they were focused but loose. They were. You didn't. I did not sense them being tight at all. I sensed a high degree of focus, eager to play football. You talk about it, how disciplined they are and attention to detail. I mean, Coach Bolding has everything scripted at the beginning, for all the pregame.
Yeah.
I mean, they have assigned positions on the yard lines for each of the kids. It's not willy-nilly. Yeah. They come out with a very specific intention when they come out. Valley View looks confident. We've seen some of these other teams that Parkview has played. The players of the other teams are craning their necks just to see what's on the other side, wanting to see these D1 athletes in white. Valley View didn't do that. They were again, this is a confident bunch. Winning, of course, breeds confidence. They've done nothing but win all year. This is going to be the best team they've played without question.
Without question.
And I think, Parkview has faced a little bit tougher challenge. They know what it's like to be behind and come back. I think this is going to be a great football game, Trip. I'm excited to get this ball in the air.
I am excited as well. I just want to remind everybody that no matter the outcome of this game, this is our final football broadcast of the season. Contractually, we can't broadcast the state championship game if Parkview wins tonight. So for us in the broadcast booth, this is it, and we're making the most of it here.
Time for all of us to leave it on the field,
Yep,
Chip.
we are underway here in Jonesboro. Blazers going to return to the opening kick. Look out, that is a fast man returning the football, getting it nearly to the 30-yard line. That was Parker King.
Yeah, one of our keys that we cycle on. He returned a kick for a touchdown last year, Parker King. He is very good in open space, so that's one of the keys that defensively you got to keep number 6 in front of you.
King is one of the receiving leaders, got 4 touchdowns of the night. Also one of the rushing leaders. He has 2 touchdowns in rushing, 4 in receiving. Now first down and 10 to begin the ball game for Valley View.
They're going to line up in this formation a lot tonight, Trip. They're going to run almost everything out of the shotgun and either twins or trips to either side. And you'll see they're doing right now a lot of check with me's. They will line up and they'll get a secondary call based on the alignment.
Here's Drew Gartman looking to throw off the play action early, and there's King. Instantly, nowhere to go, though, as he's tackled quickly by Jaden McMillan. A drilling tackle, but not enough to stop them from getting a first down because King was wide open for a moment.
Yeah, they did. They ran that little. It's just a pretty simple, play action, not a hard fake, but early going. I wouldn't be surprised to see them give him a little bit of cushion, keep them in front. That's what you want to do.
Look at this shift. That's an old-fashioned shift right there.
Yeah, that's Joe Gibbs.
Now Gartman is going to roll it out to the left side. Big mistake.
Yeah, this is where Parkview is going to have an advantage all night. They love that play. They love that quarterback load. That's one of their most effective run play games. They'll probably do it several times, try to soften you up.
Yep.
But that's where Parkview's speed on the outside really comes in. Jeremy Edwards we talked about earlier, he was able to hold his man and step out and kind of string that play along and let everybody else come up to make the tackle.
Gartman lost 2 yards on the play, so now it's second down and 12 for the Blazers, still in their own territory with 4 wide. Gartman alone in the empty set, fire right side, intercepted by who else? Jermaine Petty, the Fiend! First blood for the Patriots!
Jermaine Penny on the interception.
No laundry on the field either, Trip. That's going to stand. Great job. He knew it. He saw it. He sat back. They ran. It was pretty telegraphed.
Yeah.
It was very clear they were going to go to number 6. He sat back, read it perfectly, did not interfere. He got in front of the receiver, got his hands up in order to avoid contact.
I like
great technique.
I like what you said, too. No laundry on the field because we saw him do exactly that at Camden Fairview, which was called back for no reason. But it didn't count. This one counts, and Parkview on the board first. And here's Solomon Aguilar to kick the extra point. You know, the offensive key for Valley View is to keep Parkview's offense off the field. Well, they still did that, but now they're losing.
Well, also, number one of the keys was to not turn the ball over.
Yes.
And when you're in this situation, you have to hold on to the football. You know, that's one of the Parkview keys. That's one of the value. It's a key for everybody, always.
Yeah.
Run the football, don't turn it over. In this situation, this is a play that they've run. I've seen it. God knows that Coach Bolding and his staff have seen it. They were well scouted, well prepared. And you can see on the replay right here, there was no read.
Yep.
He came right at it. He was looking for Andrew Jones, one of his top playmakers, and it just got underneath the ball.
Yeah.
Got underneath, got his hands up, got in front of him. It was, again, this is something that they have run a lot. They're not, I think one of the things that I noticed with Gartman, as good as he is, the ball will float on him occasionally, and it floated a little bit there, not quite on the line that he would have wanted for that.
And just like that, Parkview leads 7-0 with 10:40 remaining. What a start. Could not have gone any better for Parkview.
Yeah, this is now the thing is Valley View has got this is important for Valley View right now to establish the ball, establish their running game right now. It's going to be very difficult, but I also think that for them they've got to get back out there and do something positive.
Parker King returning this time from the 5-yard line. Much longer kick by Solomon Aguilar, but he still gives Valley View better starting field position as he's beyond the 30.
Benefited a little bit there from some coverage mistake, trying to get the not coverage mistakes, but some potential blocks in the back that didn't get affected. But anyway, we're back to live action now. They're going to come out in a twin, in a spread set this time Wouldn't all be surprised to see some motion out of this, though, Tripp.
Different running back this time. That's Carter Wallace.
And they'll give the ball to him, and he's got nowhere to go. He was instantly met up the middle. Couldn't quite see which Patriot that was, but all I saw was a white jersey just slamming into him like a brick wall. That might have been Jeremy Edwards.
No, that's the big man, and that's Nigel Farsi right there. Edwards did come in to help clean it up, but Farsi and then Quincy Bruce also in there to get a little bit of action, but Farsi was just able to shed that block right away and get in his face. We've talked about all season, running up the middle against Parkview is a very, very difficult task.
Here's second down. Play action. Pocket collapsing quickly, and he's brought down quickly.
Nice job closing right there.
It was Jaden McMillan, I believe, on the sack, wrapping up on Drew Gartman's ankles and bringing him down in the backfield.
Yeah, Jaden read that. You know, he had a one read pass. It's basically an RPO to himself.
Right. And
decided, but Jaden saw his head turn and shot that gap immediately. Nice done. Well read keys right there by number 21.
Oh. It was a gain of a couple yards, I beg your pardon. Third down and 8. Wallace still at running back. Gartman's going to throw. And look out! He's instantly wrapped up. The ball came out.
Saw the beanbag get thrown down. Looks like Valley View was able to fall back on top of. I was watching the drop.
I was too.
As they were, rush 4, drop 7. There was nothing out there. It looked like he was trying to get the ball to Parker King there. But they had him top and bottom. There was just no opening to get the ball out.
Micah Johnson was the first to get to him. Made a nice spin move to get off his blocker.
You know, you talked about pregame Trip, the energy. And they're going to line up. They do a quick kick, much like Fairview did.
Yep. Drew Gartman's also a punter on the roster. And there it is. And here's Penny going to let it roll.
Let it roll. Smart. Don't create a turnover. I was going to say, we talked about, you talked about, and you were right, pregame, man, the energy was up. This home crowd was fired up. They haven't seen this team lose all season, home or away. They were excited. There's great energy, great enthusiasm, and Parkview just stole their joy right away. And now it's can the Parkview offense go out, establish its identity, run the ball, and see if they can turn this into a 2-score lead here in the first quarter.
Now for the first time tonight, we see the Parkview offense take the field, led by quarterback Emmanuel Bunting. Money in motion. And a flag.
There's a flag on the play.
Not how you want to start your first offensive series.
Snap infraction. Offense.
So a snap infraction. I don't think we've seen one all year.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen one. Must have had a flinch on the ball.
Must have. So now it'll be 1st and 15.
First down, 15.
Well, you can basically re-rack that play. I mean, they didn't really give anything away. It looks like they're coming out in the same formation. It's just must have been a flinch. We're kind of shielded from that.
Here's Cameron Settles, letting his presence be known. An explosive run to the sideline at about the 29-yard line.
You're going to get 10 of those yards, right? You're going to get all the lost yards plus 5. You're on schedule now, and they're seeing some movement, some pace here from Parkview, going straight to the line, calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
Oh yeah, a good 10-yard run by Cameron Settles. Now it's 2nd and 5. Bunting will throw to the far sideline, and he got Jace White wide open, out of bounds, and moves the chains for the Patriots.
Yeah, nice confident throw. I've talked about this with Emmanuel Bunting, and I love his confidence throwing the football. He's kind of got that Lamar Jackson kind of sidearm snap to it as well. Man, he throws with great pace and great accuracy.
Here we go. First down and 10. They're still in their own territory. Kyrick Fulks, the receiver nearest to us here on the near side. Jermaine Conway in motion. And now a handoff to Settles up the middle, only going to gain 2.
I like the, obviously you want to see 4 to 6 yards on first down, get you on good strikes, but I do like establishing that inside run. This is what they need. This is what Parkview does.
Yes.
Go with the inside-outside game. Attack that front. Attack what Valley View has given you.
Now 2nd down and 8 from their own 39.
Blazers still running. I mean, we talked about this pregame trip. They are running 3 down, but they are cheating up their outside linebackers, creating kind of a false 5-man front.
Now, Money gets the toss from Quentin Murphy, and he's going to lose a yard.
Yeah, that was well done right there by Jade Taylor, number 14, for Valley View. He read that, stretched it out, and he's one of those outside backers who's playing up kind of as a false defensive end. Nice job of getting out, stretching the play, not letting anything get to his outside. Because that's, if you're Valley View, that's what you, in order to contain the Parkview speed, you simply cannot allow them outside.
Absolutely right. So now it's 3rd down and 10. Bunting looks to throw to Kyrick Folks, and he got it. I think he caught it right at the line to gain, and he did. And that's going to move the chains.
Yeah, they are giving him the move. Ryan Ramsey in coverage right there. Just too much cushion. I understand Ramsey does not want to see Kyrick fly by, but just too much cushion. Even on 3rd and 10, that's just too much. You have to get at least a yard and a half closer.
Chains didn't realize that they had to move. So
yeah, chain gang on the far side, which is great for us. It helps us see. But
we're not used to that at War Memorial.
Yeah, and on this side, the ball obviously on our side, it was easier for us to see than them.
1st down from their own 47. Q going to keep it up the middle. Quentin Murphy still on his feet. Down the far sideline. A foot race. He will win it. Woo Pig Suey! Quentin Murphy!
The future
Razorback
took it to the outside. It was a little problem with the mesh. This is where he's not getting the snaps in practices like he used to.
Yeah.
A little bit of traffic on the mesh point. Was able to shove running back forward and get what he needed, and then just speed and talent, knowing angles. Everything that number 10 does took over right there.
I'm not sorry to all the Valley View fans who just glanced up and stared at me. The kid makes a good play. I'm going to get excited about it. That's football, by golly.
They'll be cheering for him next year on Saturdays.
And they will. Solomon Aguilar's kick. What a shocker is good.
It's kind of a worst-case scenario for Valley View right now. Offensively, they came out immediately, and we see on the replay right here, just slightly get through a little bit of traffic there with Monterio getting through, but Money carried the fake out and gave Q a little bit of space, and then he's just so big and strong. If I see it from this different angle right here, gets through, boom, hits the angle. That cornerback bit too hard, and it's over at that point.
For a moment, you thought that Q was going to take a sack because the pocket was collapsing, and you're absolutely right. There was some traffic. He bumped into a couple of his blockers, but he still made the most of it, which is amazing.
Well, that goes to football IQ, experience, not panicking in that situation. Obviously, as a senior, he's been here, he's done that, he's won a state championship. Like, he understands what it takes. But for Valley View, what you wanted to do for Valley View is you wanted to get that ball first, go down and score, at least take some time off, give yourself some offensive confidence. Instead, you give up a pick six, then you get the ball back. You get one first down, then you got to kick it, and then you give up a long touchdown run, and now you're on your heels because you feel like you have failed at your 2 most important tasks if you're Valley View right here at first quarter.
And if you're Valley View, you don't want this to get out of hand too quickly because it's the first quarter. You're down 2 touchdowns, still have yet to score. Kick will be returned from the 10. Parker King again coming to the near side and will jog out of bounds, nearly stumbling over one of his blockers. And good coverage that time by the Patriots on the kickoff.
Yeah, one thing Valley View cannot complain about is field position. They've actually been set up pretty well so far tonight. This 3rd drive, they're going to start average field position around 29, 30-yard line. The problems that they're running into are not caused by being in the shadow of your own end zone. They're just not able to execute. I mean, they are so focused on that quarterback run game, and Parkview is committed to taking that away from them.
Start this drive from their own 32. Handoff, new running back this time, and he is tackled down very well. That was number 70, Kason Kane.
Gain of 3
One
on
of
the
the
play, brings up 2nd down 7.
lead tacklers on that one. I think it was, or was
Kevin Ellis came in, and I saw, looked like Liddell was in on that as well.
Yeah. He had his, part of his jersey tucked up,
his
so I thought
jersey
that was
got
70.
pinched up a little bit.
Now Garmin will throw, pocket collapsing. He's going to have to run. A good presence from the corners that time for Parkview, but there was no one up the middle to stop the run.
Well, this is the thing that we talked about, is you got to keep them contained.
Yes.
And containment doesn't always mean running around the edge. It means finding that hole, which Garmin was able to do right there because the edge rushers came in. It was obviously they expected the pass. They're not running a spy on Garmin, which is a little surprising to me right now. May change that up, Parkview defensively.
So Gartman on his own moves the change, and now he'll roll out to his left, firing up the middle, and he's got a man wide open, trying to hurdle. Didn't work out too much for him, though, as he tried to jump over Jaden McMillan, but McMillan got a hand or maybe a shoulder on his feet and tripped him up.
No Ragsdale on the reception there. Yeah, nice little play. He was trying to get over. This is where, we've seen this a few times this season, that backside. He was able, Gartman was able to get his feet set and throw to the back hash on that one, found the open man.
This is the first play that Valley View's running in Parkview territory. Now they're going to go long, incomplete. He was looking for Parker King.
Yeah, Parker King, again, one of their big playmakers. That was, looked like that was Jay McMillan in coverage there. He got a little behind, but allowed his natural talent and speed to catch up. But still, a good throw, and that's a touchdown for Valley View right there.
So now 2nd down and 10 from the Parkview 38. I want to say real quick, we have a massive group of Parkview fans nearly filling out the visiting stand.
Yeah, really nice road crew tonight for Parkview.
Even the Liberty Bells are here making the trip, of course. Now Garmin throw near side. Jermaine Penny doing a good job to rush Andrew Jones.
Yeah,
sideline.
1 and 6. That's where Garmin's going to throw most of the balls this evening, is to number 1 and number 6. Basically a swing pass, kind of stretch run play right there. They're going to have 2 shots to get a first down right here. I'm convinced they're going to try. They will go on 4th if they do not execute right here.
I'm going to change up the play. Line of scrimmage on 3rd and 6. Delay with the play action, and look out! Holy cow, Kevin Ellis!
Yeah, Garmin. I said, as soon as I say that, now they may rethink after losing, and now they're 4th and 11. I would set up defensively with 2 safeties back and just let them quick kick if that's what they want to do.
Kevin Ellis wanting to make himself acquainted with Drew Gartman, saying, hello, how do you do? Here's a sack.
Yeah, that was just well done. Ellis came back on the inside and found a gap.
They're looking to go for it here on 4th and 10. Look out, bad decision! Ja'Cory Smith swallowing him up deep in the backfield. And all of a sudden, Parkview's got the ball back.
Gartman never saw it. He was looking left the whole time. Usually you see that coming on the corner on the backside, but that time it came straight up the middle. Lineman created a hole, almost like offensive lineman creating a hole for the running back, and just like a missile right through. So they had 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 7. And ended up losing about 10 yards on consecutive plays.
Well, let's look at this quickly from our sideline view. They're getting ambitious here.
And here comes the missile.
And there's the explosion. Parkview back on offense. E-man in a quarterback. Give to Cameron Settles. Settles nearly ran into his own blocker, and he's only going to gain a yard. So after that last touchdown run from Quentin Murphy, it looks like Valley View adjusting their run defense.
Yeah. They definitely pinched down a little bit. Again, they're only putting 3 men down with their hands on the ground, but those outside linebackers are basically just playing a half a yard off the line of scrimmage. They're stretched out a little bit farther on this one. Again, I think alignment's just going to be a big question for how they attack this run defense.
Now trips to the right. And Kyrick Fulks, the lone receiver near side.
And there's a lot of space on that right side right now.
I'm seeing Kyron Marshall. Not much coverage on him or Elston. Looks like they have just one man trying to cover both. And now a high pass tipped and intercepted. Monty's going to quickly bring them down. That was RJ Estrich on the interception. The ball was tipped and picked off by RJ.
Yeah, tipped and picked off by 13. Actually, almost picked off before the tip as well. Bad read, honestly, at that point. That one, I don't know if it was an RPO or if he just decided to throw the football no matter what. Right there, there wasn't a lot of space for him to thread that needle. I love E-Man's courage and I love his arm. I think that was just a bad read. Maybe he didn't even see that the defender behind him.
Estrick's 7th interception in 2024. Now they're going to hand it off to Anthony Felice, and he's going nowhere. They stop his forward progression at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think that's generous to even get him that far ahead. That's the entire offensive line got beat right there, and you had Patriots in the backfield, and the linebackers just followed immediately.
It's going to be 2nd down and 10 from their own 49.
I think it's just out of habit, this kind of run fake. Nobody's biting on the run fake. They're going to hand the ball off on 1st down occasionally.
Not going to fire, and Cameron Settles nearly had himself a pick as he was covering Cullen very well.
Yeah, Cam's going to really, really be mad at himself when he goes back and watches the tape. It looked as though he were the receiver in the pattern right there. Mistimed his jump just a little bit, but once again, now Valley View at 3rd and very long. This is, for a run team, they're just not getting enough on 1st down with the run game.
They're trying to catch Parkview off a bit, running deep pass plays like that. Now Gartman going to roll out, pocket collapsing. He's going to have to take off and slips away, gets the 1st down across the 40-yard line.
Nice job by Gartman right there. He really did want to throw, but Parkview had dropped its safeties. There just wasn't anything. Obviously, didn't want to turn the ball over again. Nice job of tucking and making a decision. That's what you love about a guy like that, is he made the decision and committed to that.
Look at how close his receivers are lining up. The line of scrimmage. Now Felice in motion. Gartman's going to throw, and he's got nowhere to go. Make yourself at home, Marlon Liddell.
I feel like this may be the first time this season that Valley View has seen someone like Liddell, who's so big and strong but so fast.
Yes.
He has got quick hands, quick feet, able to get off his block and get into the backfield, lickety-split. There is no hope right there. And once again, look, they've lost 10 yards already. Everything they just did, now they've just lost 10 yards.
2nd and 20. Nearly back in their own territory again. Dangerously close to the 50. Gartman at the throw, rolling out left side. Got a man complete. Nowhere to go after the catch. That's Laird Cullen on the reception, number 5. And that's going to nearly put them back at the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and about 13.
Yeah, Cam Settles and Jace White both in coverage right there. That's perfectly fine. If you're Parkview defensively, you're fine to give that up. Kept them in front. Now they're still at 3rd and very long.
3rd and long situation. They come out in trips to the right from the left hash. Gartman going to roll to his right. And look out, Micah Johnson was rushing towards him quickly. Good. Jaden McMillan making the first hit on Parker King after the reception. Still not enough for the 1st down, but they're getting close.
Great job by Gartman of keeping his composure. I like his moxie in the back. He's been hit a lot already tonight. He's been rushed on every play. He was able to contain himself and get the ball off.
4th and 3, they're going for it. Much closer this time. The previous 4th down conversion did not go well.
They've got plenty of time on the play clock. This is one of the situations where you'd rather just go all the way down to 1 and make sure you have the right play and the right alignment.
Clock is at 9. Gartman looks to throw. Fires deep. Jace White on the coverage. And uncatchable ball incomplete.
Now, the Valley View homestand is really wishing. I was watching that as it developed because it looked like he was going to run to the outside. I believe that was bumpers back there.
Yeah.
But a little bit of hand jousting by both.
Yeah.
And I think where the Valley View fans were wanting the PI, the ball got turned around. Or the ball was thrown to the inside rather than the out. And I think both the receiver and the defensive back got a little turned around. and so I think good no call. That's one I actually was afraid that they were going to throw it here on the home, on the road. But effective way to end the first quarter. Trip 14-0 Parkview as we head to the second quarter. Dominant start for the Patriots.
We'll be right back on the Patriot Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports.
Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
Welcoming you back to the second quarter of play. Parkview leading Valley View 14-0. Trip Keeter alongside Brett Kincaid. I had your name perfectly. I just stuttered.
It's because you didn't say the great.
That's my bad. I've been stuttering all season, so that's my bad. Here's Quentin Murphy. Aaron at quarterback and hand it off to Money Elston. Elston using his speed to his advantage, and he nearly got away. But I think that's...
He was he had a convoy downfield too. I think Parkview's gotten accustomed the receivers have gotten accustomed to him shaking those and getting downfield.
A good 7-yard gain though. Second down and 3. Money again. Tried to use his shiftiness, and I think his forward progression was stopped just shy of the line to gain. It's going to be a close one.
Yeah, he fell forward. I feel like they may have stopped him. You're right, but he kept going, and that's what you love about Money is he never stops.
And they will move the chains.
Yeah, he fell forward. I was afraid that we were watching the side judge here. The way he had it marked, it looked as though he was going to be short, but they went with the official on the farther side of the field, closer to the action, and I think it was a good call.
So Parkview still in their own territory, but at the 41-yard line.
Huddling a little bit more than we saw first quarter, kind of getting into their own sets. And they've not had tremendous success running just yet outside of the big plays.
Again, they gave to Elston, and he's been running the ball fairly well. The substitutions in the backfield have been pretty frequent tonight, as we're seeing both Bunting and Q in at quarterback, but also Cameron Settles and Money Elston in at running back.
Yeah, that's a good call. They really are cycling both running backs and quarterbacks around a little bit. And trying to, I think right now, just trying to establish the run. If you break one, great, but let's make sure we're getting 3 to 4 every time.
Another handoff to Money. He's been getting the ball this entire drive, and he'll move the chains again.
Nice job of just lowering his shoulders. Again, Money is one of those guys who can do so much. As we got a Valley View blazer on the ground.
Uh-oh.
And it looks like number 43.
Ryder Wooten.
Yeah, Ryder Wooten. He is in some pain right now. Looks like they're looking on the lower half there.
Yeah,
hope it's just a little nick.
Yeah, not something you want to see either, because he is a senior for these Valley View Blazers, and no matter what the result tonight, this will be their final game on this field, so they want to go out on a good note.
You're trying to think about that too much as a player and a coach, about this is the final. It's, the emotions of it all. But you're right, and that no matter the outcome, these seniors in blue will never get to put on the blue and run out on this field again after tonight. You want him to be able to actually run out and finish on his own terms, at least on the field, playing for his team, because Valley View is trying to win their first state title. We talked about Parkview, obviously. That's our team, but Valley View, this is an historic season for them. They are trying to get to a War Memorial and to win one for the first time, and they have the team that they think they can do it. And I tell you what, they have weathered the storm. I think it's at this point Parkview is on the move and creating some space in the running game. But a lesser team would already be folding the tents. We've seen that this year. We saw Texarkana comes to mind, team that Valley View beat in the first round. Once things went south for them, they went south fast.
Yeah.
Valley View has got a lot of metal. We're seeing 43 come off, not under his own power. He's really holding that left leg gingerly right now.
Back in action. Parkview has 1st and 10 in Blazer territory. Looks like, I believe that's Dak Crosby in at running back.
We're getting a little bit of everybody in today.
Yeah. Trips formation to the left. They'll give to Dak. Crosby up the middle, lowering his shoulder, but had a couple of Blazers right in front of him that he had to try to run through, and Rylan McNamee was one of the Blazers to get him after a 1-yard gain.
Met him in the hole well right there, but still was able to push forward and get at least a yard out of it. But, yeah, nice job that time of filling the gap by that middle linebacker.
Elsewhere on our Natural State Sports broadcast, the other football game tonight, the Mills Comets are trailing the Warren Lumberjacks 12-0 with a minute left in the first quarter.
Another big game on the network, and this is a quarterfinal game for the 4A.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate everybody watching us here on the Patriots Sports Network. And Murphy fakes the give, spins away. Quentin Murphy still on his feet. My goodness, I feel like he's gotten faster and faster as the years progress.
And maybe that time off helped him gain some strength as well. He really was able to square his shoulders and keep his feet there. A very late pull that time. A nice read by Q, because that really looked like it was going to go to the running back. But he read that defensive end and just held it just long enough to get that end to commit. And then he took it and ran it again. He kept his shoulders square, took a couple of hits, and added another 10 yards where he easily could have gone down.
Well, at the Valley View 27. Screen pass this time looking for money. And Elston gets a great block and using his speed to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Parkview. The ATM is still open on a cold Friday night.
Carter Wallace did his best, but there's just, money is a, I mean, he's a D1 athlete. He has speed, he has vision, he has strength, and right there he showed all three by setting up the block to allow him to get inside. And then we saw Wallace come through, try to tackle. You cannot tackle him with one person, especially with arm tackles. He's just too strong in the lower half.
Look out, they're going to have to pick up the snap. Bumpers throwing to the end zone, incomplete. It was a smart move that time by Elliott Bumpers and Solomon Aguilar to pick it up, because it looked like that R.J. Estrick was coming in hot. He was right in front of the ball as Solomon was about to kick it. So
here we go on the replay right here, Trip. We see on Quentin, he seemed to keep his feet right there and just keep driving, and push it through all the way down to the 25. And then here on the touchdown, just a nice little swing pass. There's Quentin. See, and then Money sets him up, uses his speed, and you simply cannot tackle him with two hands at the waist. This is tackle football.
Yeah.
He did not get close enough. And again, he's just so strong. He's got such strong legs.
Kyron Marshall with a fantastic block, too.
Yeah, nice
leading
downfield.
the way.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about, that's been one of my things all season that I've loved about this team is the downfield blocking by the receiving corps.
Just like that, 20-0. That missed extra point, not playing a factor so far right now. But I have a feeling that Parkview will want to get it back if they score again.
Yeah, I think it really. I think the pace of the game will determine whether or not they try to steal that second point. Try to steal that extra point back. Mm-hmm. Again, we talked about just during the injury timeout how Valley View had really done a good job of weathering the storm. Now this is another punch that they have got to try to overcome if they want to keep this close as we head late into the second part of the second quarter.
This is the most that Valley View has trailed all season long. I believe so. They hadn't trailed for the regular season up until they played Batesville, and they trailed in the first quarter of that game. That didn't really last very long,
Yeah,
though.
it was a 7-0 Pioneer lead that evaporated very quickly. Nice job in coverage right there by Parkview. I think, now this is actually the worst field position that
it is.
Valley View has had on just short of the 20. Good coverage. They were trying to come back, caught it on the bounce. Probably would have been wise just to let that bounce into the end zone. There were no Patriots near it when the ball hit the turf.
As a consequence, they're down at their own 18.
And for a team that's had a difficult time moving the ball consistently, it makes this a much more difficult road to hoe with 82 yards in front of them.
Here we go, 1st and 10. Gartman alone in the backfield. He's going to keep it. Look out, he's got some room. Jace White's going to try to chase him down. Didn't touch him, though, and that gives Gartman enough yards to get out of bounds and move the chains.
Well, what we talked about pregame, the number one key offensively is contain number one, don't let him outside, or contain QB1, number two, and don't let him outside, which is exactly what happened right there. He was able to use his feet and get outside.
And after that big run, Coach Brad Bowling wants to take a timeout and talk it over with his players. It doesn't matter how much they're up by. If there is an adjustment to be made, he addresses it immediately.
Well, I mean, they're still coaching every minute of every game.
Yeah.
We've seen him go ballistics in the fourth quarter of a running clock game. Like, if they're not executing, it doesn't matter if it's first team or third team. If they're not executing, he's going to call them out. Like you said, in real time, they are going to adjust and make a correction.
We've seen it even when the second team and third team guys are around the field. If he sees something he doesn't like, he calls a timeout, coaches them up. They go out there and they make those adjustments quickly.
And he will change personnel if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I mean, with your first teamers, this is still first half of a state semifinal game. You're not calling off the dogs until you absolutely have to. So he does not want to give Valley View life, and this is why they call the timeout. You do not want to let them have a chance to get back in this right now.
First down from their own 33. Drew Gartman rolling out right side, fires, has a man complete to Andrew Jones, and Jermaine Penny was right behind him to knock him down.
Yeah, Penny came down a little funny right there. I think he's going to have to come out and take a look a little bit. That
Yeah, he's
looks
got a
like
little bit of a limp
that
to
ankle is a little gimpy right now. He's going to try to stay in.
Yeah, he's
Coach Bolding is watching him closely right now, wants to see how he responds on this play. And if you're Valley View, you see number 9 with a limp, and you put number 1 and number 6 on him, you want to try and exploit that if you can.
second down and 2. They're going to run it up the middle and get the first down. Jermaine Penny still looks like he's looking at the sideline, doesn't know if he wants to come out or not.
I'm sure
like
he's begging to stay in the game.
He wants to stay in, yeah. He's just one of those extremely passionate players and an underrated talent as well. And,
yeah, I agree.
And what I love about him, he always makes sure he makes sure to find me during the warm-ups, comes up to me, shakes my hand, and says, "Enjoy the show." And my goodness, does he put on a show every week.
He's definitely shown out tonight already.
It looks like the pain is slowly fading away as he's kind of back in action. A great stop up the middle by the Patriots in the trenches.
You know, we were talking about looking at Jermaine over there getting through. We kind of ignored the fact that Gartman was able to sneak through, get the first down on an inside run. They have had very little success with tonight. They just they tried it again and got basically a half a yard on that one.
Second down and 9.5. Gartman looking to throw. The corners collapse and he finds that room up the middle again. The Patriots have to get some presence near that middle part of the pass rush because every time the blue sea just opens for him.
Well, and they've successfully been able to contain Gartman for the most part tonight without putting a spy on him. They may have to adjust here as now Valley View gets into Parkview territory because he is tucking and running more than he showed early, and than he showed on tape even.
Trips to the left. And Gartman's going to roll out to the left again. Fires, has a man. Shaking and baking, gets the first down. Patriots struggling to bring him down until Cameron Settles does the job. That was Trip Dale.
Yeah, Trip Dale on the reception there, senior wide receiver. This is what we have seen teams do with some effect this year, Trip, is move the pocket.
Yep.
When you have a quarterback as good as Gartman, you can probably do that a little bit more than some of these other teams that Parkview has played this year. That really does neutralize the rush, and it also stops that middle rush, which is so problematic.
Blazers have Parkview's number here as they're moving the ball well. Rush up the middle, only going to gain a yard. Looks like that was Carter Wallace, and it was.
Yeah, if that, they may not even move the stick at all right there. It was, again, this is another one of those times we've seen it a few times tonight where every Patriot won his battle up front.
Yep.
And this is, again, I would be looking to see if they're going to try to shift the line a little bit, move the pocket, and give Gartman some opportunities to find somebody on the backside or tuck and run where he has shown to be effective.
They sub Wallace out. No running back in right now, so Gartman will be alone. The empty set, going to fire, has a man on the screen pass. He found Andrew Jones, And Jace White, Ja'Cory Smith, a couple of the Patriots making a good stop off the screen.
Parker King did his best to stop Chris Edwards on that, and Edwards just blew it up. And that destroys the timing on those because you've got to seal off those safeties and linebackers coming on the inside.
Now it's 3rd down and 10 from the Patriot 28. Left hash, trips to the right. Normally when that happens, Gartman rolls out. We'll see what he does here. He will drop back this time. Fire down the middle, has a man, slips away into the end zone, and Andrew Jones ends the drought for the Blazers.
Just, not a lot going on right there, Tripp. Just was able to find something over the middle. The safeties were, split out, so there was the quarters. It was more of halves instead of quarters.
Yeah.
So there was room in the middle. He hasn't had enough time to find those receivers all night. He actually had a little bit of time as we look at the replay here. The pass rush just doesn't get home. It's a quick read. He saw the middle of the field. That's one of those experience plays, too, where you have somebody like Andrew Jones, who's a senior, and you have somebody like Drew Gartman, who's a senior.
Yep.
They see the play. They both know what they're going to do. Even if that's not an option route, they probably knew immediately that they needed to attack the middle. So nice job in execution. This is the one time that the pass rush did not get home at all.
No.
Nobody got through. It just 2 plays earlier. Every defensive lineman won his battle, and this one, none of them won their battle.
Yep, and all of a sudden, there's life back on the field for Valley View because it's not like, last week at the end of the first quarter, Maumelle trailed Parkview 21-0, and they quit.
Yeah, they had no hope. They had no faith when they got off the bus.
That is not the same story for Valley View.
Again, this is the difference when you're playing an undefeated team who has got a culture of winning. While they have not won the big one yet, this is a team that has had great success for the last 3 or 4 years. And they, no matter, you can go back and you can watch that Morrilton game, and you say, 9 times out of 10, Morrilton wins that game if they just eliminate one of the turnovers. But they didn't.
Yep.
And Morrilton, created opportunity, and Valley View seized it. In this particular instance, they just have grit. And they are not going to give up. And I think that's what Parkview is now going to have to show grit of its own and understand that this isn't a team that's going to break. And so they're going to have to keep chipping away and keep banging away and keep going, 100 miles an hour on both sides of the ball.
First time tonight we're going to see Brody Dix kick the ball away for Valley View from the 40. And Parkview's receiving team shifting as they're anticipating an onside kick here.
Hands team is in now. He's shifting back maybe where he can kick it deep.
Going to be a bit of a pooch kick. Cameron Settles gets under it. Settles from the 35. Gets great blocks to his left side. Far sideline now. Cameron Settles still on his feet. And finally pulled out of bounds at the Valley View 20. A great return from Cameron Settles.
Yeah, I think special teams coaches are going to rethink that situation right there. I'm sure they were expecting a fair catch. What they didn't expect was 27 to be the one catching the ball.
Yeah.
and well coached, by the way. I don't want to ignore the fact. Nice job by Parkview, seeing that this is something that Valley View might do.
Yep.
They set up a wall return to the far side. Cam knew exactly what to do when he got the ball. Went to the far side of the field and had a picket fence that he was able to run around and get all the way down to the 20-yard line.
Just like that, they're knocking on the door of the red zone. Quentin Murphy back in at quarterback. He'll be in the empty set. Money in motion. Q will fake and run it up the middle, trying to spin away. Might have gained a yard. No, they're going to say he was down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, both of those middle linebackers are going to stay put when they see 10 in the ball game. They're not going to bite on any of those fakes. It's just he's such a good runner. Good job by both of those middle linebackers for Valley View of staying home and not biting, which they showed the propensity to do against Morrilton.
Now Bunting back in at quarterback. E-man hands off. Cameron Settles, and they stop his forward progression. About nearly a yard gained. Though they will mark it as a 1-yard gain, it looks like, if that.
It's a big third down here for Parkview. You kind of feel like you were about to steal the momentum right back.
Yeah.
If you're Valley View and you hold Parkview to a field goal attempt, even if they make it, that's a win for them. Parkview's got to. I would like to see Parkview go for it, even if they don't make it on this one, just to keep Valley View pinned back at minimum. But you do kind of wonder. This Valley View defense is keyed up, and they are now. We see 10 in the ball game.
3 seconds to take the snap. Quentin Murphy back in at quarterback. He's going to keep it. And he did gain at least 5 yards on that one, but it was third down. He was stopped maybe just shy of the 15.
Yeah, decision time right now, and they're going to send out big number 72 trying to get 3 points out of this.
And why not? That's definitely in his range. He was warming up from about that distance.
Yeah, and he's got a good angle here. He can push it. He doesn't have to worry about trying to pull it through. So this is a good angle for him. And it's a 13-point game. This gets you to 2 scores.
Yep.
It is a bit of math going on here where I think it does make a little bit of sense.
Good hold from Elliott Bumpers. The kick is away, and it is just to the right. No good. It had the distance.
He caught it a little fat, I think, Tripp.
Yeah.
I don't think he got it. He did not hit it flush. And now, of course, I'm sure Coach Bolden kicking himself, wishing he had gone for it. But I think it was, it was in the first half. It's not a bad play to go ahead and try and get those points. But now, defensively, you got to hope that your coach has tuned up the defense just enough right there, because Valley View made some adjustments and they were able to stop the pass rush, and that allowed number 2 to do what he does and control the football game. He was able to run outside. He was able to pick apart the middle of the offense. Pick apart the middle of the Parkview defense, and now they've got some confidence offensively.
Garman quickly throwing to the right on the screen pass. Great group tackle there by the Patriots.
Yeah, Kevin Ellis did a nice job of coming up and stopping that and let the cavalry come.
I think that was Parker King on the reception, and it looked like he was stuck on an island there for a moment.
Yeah, no, it really was. Valley View is really starting. They're finding some holes, spreading Parkview out a little bit farther with this 5-wide set. They've been running mostly out of trips and twins, but now they are really emptying the backfield a little bit and putting a little bit of stress. Of course, now they're gonna bring a running back in this time.
2nd down and 8 from their own 22. And another screen pass, this time to the near side. And Cameron Settle says, "You're going nowhere," to
nice
Cullen.
job. Really nice job of swallowing it up. I was talking with somebody on the way up here thinking about where we're going to see Cam next year in red. And, I know he's a great runner of the football. He is so good out there on the corner.
Patriots take their 2nd timeout of the half. And trying
reset the game. Oh, yeah.
147.
147, okay.
Looking at our other broadcast from Natural State Sports. The Mills Comets are on the board. It's a defensive battle in the 2nd quarter as they trail Warren 12-7.
So we're now faced with a 3rd and 6. Pretty important opportunity here to stop them. Not so much for Parkview, you want to get the ball back so you can go score, and then you get the ball back to start the second half. Like, that's the dream. You just don't want to let Valley View get into the locker room feeling good about themselves.
As you said, it's 3rd and 6. They have the ball at their own 24. Drew Gartman will be in the gun with Carter Wallace. Let's see what they do here. Gartman rolling out to the right, fires on the screen pass, looking for Parker King. And King will move the chains, going out of bounds at the 35-yard line, 35 and a half.
Yeah, that's just rolled the pocket a little bit. Nice levels concept of running off the cornerbacks and then sliding their slot receiver underneath. Easy pitch and catch as long as they're open. A nice job of running off the Parkview defense.
1st and 10. They give to Parker King. And look out, he had some good blocks. No flags on the play, and you get a 13-yard gain, moves the chains again.
Yeah, so Valley View's clearly figured things out. They're able to get on the edge. they're spreading out their receivers a little bit more than they were earlier, stretching, which of course forces the cornerbacks out. So that support that you get usually from a Cam Settles in the run game is just not as easy to come by. And rather than running these sweeps, they're just running those swing passes, which are effectively run plays.
Gartman throws to King, incomplete, overthrew him, and he had to throw it pretty quickly as Ja'Cory Smith was charging behind him.
That's the first time we've seen Gartman with a bad throw on these short and intermediate passes. He's overthrown a couple of deep, but that's the first time he's missed on one that really you have to say that's a throw he should make.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody with his talent.
And a receiver as good as Parker King has been making plays frequently tonight. Gartman in the empty set again with trips to the right and deuces to the left. Gartman has to find a hole up the middle. Good job that time. It looked like Marlon Liddell got his hand on Drew Gartman's ankle and tripped him up at the 50.
Liddell and Jeremy Edwards met at the quarterback, but Gartman did a nice job of falling forward.
Yeah.
You know, how many times have we seen that all year where the quarterback goes down the backfield? This is a tribute to number 2 out there. Good job of staying aware and understanding, just get forward momentum, try to get something out of it, and now they're in 3rd and 8.
Gartman in the empty set again. Looks to throw up the middle. Intercepted! Jace White has it! And Jace White has Gartman to beat! Makes a move! Jace White! Touchdown, Parkview!
The second of the night.
The second pick six of the night. Whew, these Patriots are making me dizzy.
On a tipped pass, not a bad throw, not a great throw, one of those that you kind of just hope nothing bad happens, and it didn't work out for him. Tip ball, great job of awareness on the field, and all of these Parkview defensive backs, when they get the ball in their hands, they know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And the defensive linemen and the linebackers also know to turn around and you're blockers all of a sudden.
And a flag.
Another snap infraction trip.
I guess so.
Oh, they're going to line up offsides. Okay.
It was encroachment on Valley View. And as we said, that's the second pick six of the night for Parkview. First one by Jermaine Penny. That time, Jace White using his track speed to get into the end zone.
I mean, Jace looked like as soon as he got it, there was no question he was going to take it to the house. He saw an angle and went straight to it, and then again, just speed. Gartman did his best to try to cut off the angle, but Jace is just too good of an athlete.
Bit of a high snap. Kick is away. At plenty of the height and the distance, and just like that, Parkview has a 10-point lead or a 20-point lead.
Yeah,
I mean that's bad. I'm sorry about that.
Still a little lightheaded.
27-7, yeah.
It's important. Obviously, we were just saying don't want Valley View to go into the locker room feeling good about themselves. Now, you know, this is one of those situations where they've got it. It's deflating because they're doing well. Gartman was playing extremely clean football. He had the one bad pass at the beginning of the game. But he really rallied. I was impressed by his mettle to come back and really not only throw the ball well, but be a good leader on the field for Valley View. And then to come back and lead a touchdown drive, nice touchdown pass. Like, they really had some mojo. He was doing a good job running the ball. It was not a horrible pass by him. It was a tip. And, you would think that, you want to blame somebody. Sometimes it just happens. You know, just didn't catch the ball, and it bounced. You know, they got a bad bounce right there. Went straight into the hands of a stud athlete that Parkview has in the secondary.
And, I mentioned that just knocked the breath out of me. I was yelling so loud, but Valley View had amazing momentum throughout this second quarter, and that pick from Jace White just knocked the breath out of their momentum.
Absolutely. I mean, truly, this is it could be. We may be circle this play. This may be the one we go back to and realize this is where the game really changed, because that is you don't want to say necessarily a 14-point swing. It certainly could have been.
Here's Solomon again. The ball on the tee, and we'll kick it away. And there's the kick. It's a good line drive. It'll be returned from the 10. That's King again. And won't get it to the 30 this time. He's fighting for it. His forward progression is still going. It looked like he might have been stopped early, but Parkview kind of let up.
Yeah, nice job by King by kind of getting his legs back underneath him after he was stopped to try to lean forward a little bit farther. Now 36 seconds to go. If you're Valley View, you don't want to give up another turnover. You really want to make sure that you hold on the football right here. The problem is Parkview gets the ball to start the second half.
That is true, yep. Valley View won the coin toss and picked their option to return the opening kickoff. So, as you said, they will have to kick it away.
And just while we got a quick break in the action, update from Farmington. His Lakeside is up 21-15.
And they're going to take a knee here.
I think I don't blame them for doing so. I think that's a wise decision. Go ahead and get to the half, get everybody to reset, kind of recenter, settle down a little bit.
Yep.
Bad break. If you're Valley View's coaching staff, you're going to say, "Hey, we had a great athletic play that led to one of those pick sixes, and another was just a bad tip. And other than that, we're in this ball game."
Yeah.
That's if that you're Valley View, you're saying that's what you're telling your guys. If you're Parkview, you're saying, "Do not relent.
Yes.
Stay on the attack."
And that'll do it. The first half of the semifinals is in the books. Parkview going into the locker room with a 20-point lead over the Valley View Blazers. We'll talk about that and more on our halftime report coming up on the Patriots Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports.
Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart. Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart. Let them experience passions through extracurriculars. Let them experience teamwork, discipline, and resilience through sports. Let them experience leadership and service to community. Let them experience on-the-job training through internships and job shadowing. Let them experience the excitement of performing through drama and dance. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
Steve. Mr. makes something out of nothing. That ball was on the turf, Terry Jordan. It was on the turf. Picked it up.
The second time he's done that, by the way.
I know.
It's the second time he's done that.
And goes 46 yards for the touchdown.
And you know what's crazy? At first he was kind of bobbling it and it was an issue. But like that really speaks a lot to his athleticism to be able to adjust to stuff like that. And hey, just like that, 2 minutes 56 seconds. Comets are right back in it.
Gayton to kick the extra point. Good snap. Kick is up. Kick is good. And with 2:56 left in the half, it's 26. We're going to be at the 48, so it's going to be first down and about 6. And Burke's empty again. Here comes pressure. They got him. Couldn't get to him.
Oh,
it might have been intercepted. Give him the pick. Give him the pick. Come on.
Talk to me, Ref.
What's the call? Give me a call.
And Nick Carter created that pressure. He had him in his hands. What a play.
We need
Nick.
a call from this official. The official threw the penalty flag and wasn't paying attention to the interception. Interception, Comet football.
2 minutes
Let's
on
go.
the clock. Hey, everybody that said that it's over. Hey.
Stay in,
I
chat.
don't hear anybody
Stay in there,
singing
chat. That's
yet.
right.
Hey, y'all go ahead and share this for me. And if you
Oh.
haven't liked and subscribed, we will always be bringing all PCSSD sports here on the PCSSD Sports Network. Thank you.
And Little Rock now. We got Central.
Okay. And
Oh, look
Parkview.
at that. Look at what Will doing over here with this. Hey, he got us on a live look in. What's up, fellas?
Yo.
Look at him bringing out all the stops on VMix, baby. I like it.
Listen, chat. Listen.
That's elite. You don't see that anywhere else. That's elite over on the Patriots Sports Network right now.
Talk to us. Don't lie to us.
That is
Steve.
elite level stuff, baby.
And we're still looking for sponsors.
Here we go. Moody hands this one away. Nope, cap it. Oh, what another pancake! Moody makes it the syrup as he gets over. Oh, did he lose the ball?
Carter.
I think we lost the football. Nope, they're going to say down.
Yeah, he rolled
Saying
over.
he was
he
down.
he rolled over the top of him, for sure.
We welcome you back to our broadcast booth. You're at Blazers Stadium in Jonesboro. Parkview leads Valley View 27-7. Here, 3 minutes remaining in halftime. The Patriots making their way back onto the field. Real quick, shout out to our good friend DeAndre Hood, who's here in the building tonight. Always getting some great highlights on social media and throwing in our audio as well. Great partner of ours. And I mean, he makes some great content. So check out Hood Vision all over Instagram and wherever you get your social media needs. I always post the Instagram, so look out for that. And I got my partner Brett Kincaid here alongside Brett. A very entertaining first
Yeah,
half.
very entertaining. Not often do you get to see 2 pick sixes in a game, let alone in the first half.
Yeah.
Which is really the difference in this game so far. If we look here on the screen at what we talked about pregame, about what it'll take for Valley View to win, run the ball, shorten the game. At times they've done that. At times they've done. They really have started to find some success in throwing the ball. Let Gartman be Gartman. That is what they've done. When they had success, they were letting their quarterback take over and control the game. And then, attack Parkview's over pursuit.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of those backside passes. We also, their 1 touchdown pass, it was very much just attack the middle of the field. They were able to stretch defensively. Run blitz those linebackers, try to plug the gaps. They've done a pretty good job of stopping Parkview up the middle. Cam Settles has been kind of pushing through. We've seen Quentin Murphy come in and do a little change of pace. Those outside linebackers and safeties have done a pretty good job of keeping contained. Like, that was one of my big concerns for them.
Yeah.
But they've been able to maintain their discipline. And then they have really cut down on Parkview attacking in the middle of the field, which is where we've seen E-Man be so successful throughout the year, is attacking between those hash marks. So defensively, Valley View has done a pretty good job, really, in terms of what they need to do. And to the fact that Parkview only has 2 offensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
So clearly they've done it. Parkview, on the other hand, hold on the ball, done that for the most part. They've been able to run the ball, use their speed on the edges, and then try to sell that play action. The linebackers and safeties for Valley View have actually shown great discipline tonight.
They have, yeah.
So they've really tuned up based on what I'd seen earlier. Defensively, they have when Parkview has shut them down, it's because they've been able to stop Gartman. That's what they got to do. Jones and King, you can't stop them every time. You got 1 touchdown pass, so be it. And then when Valley View has had success, is because Gartman's gotten outside. When they've rolled the pocket, when he's able to split or slide underneath that pass rush or get outside of it, he's been able to do something.
Yeah.
If Parkview can stop him, they've proven that he's much more of a pedestrian quarterback if you can keep him locked in right there.
Yeah, Parkview's been doing a good job bringing that pressure and that presence in from the corners, but that's also a bit of a double-edged sword because it brings pressure only for a little bit because the offensive line for Valley View has their work cut out for them, but they still do enough of a job to move in front of Parkview, parting the blue sea pretty much for Gartman, and he's had a couple of great runs up the middle because of it.
You're right, and the touchdown pass. That was probably the best offensive line play the whole night in the pass game. They put hat on a hat. They were able to hold their positions and give him just enough time.
But 2 minutes left here in halftime. They added some time on the clock so Parkview can get their warm-ups in as they are to our right over in the end zone, getting warmed up for the second half of play, and they are going to need to be warmed up. It is still pretty chilly outside.
Temperature's falling out here. I saw it was 37 just a little bit ago.
Boy.
Thankfully, we're inside. Talked to some of the coaches who were on the roof. They have a little bit more difficult job than we do tonight in terms of the elements. Will's done a good job during halftime of showing some of the action from around the state. We know in the other half of the 5A bracket, in the other semifinal, we have Farmington and conference rival Hot Springs Lakeside. Lakeside up in the second half. Is there at halftime? Is there in that ball game? If the scores of both games hold, we could be looking at a 5A South final.
Oh, yes. Talking about the weather again, it is currently 33 degrees outside. The wind is calm, though, so there's no wind chill in play. But, as you said, it's getting colder and colder. And the low tonight is 29.
Yeah, luckily, it won't get to that while we're playing the game.
We may drop below 32, but you point. I think the biggest thing, Will, is that Trip is like the wind is not a problem. Like that's been such a factor. It could be such a factor that's making this cold but manageable tonight.
There's a famous, an NFL game that's in the history books as one of the coldest, probably the coldest. It was called the Freezer Bowl in Cincinnati as the Bengals hosted the San Diego Chargers. I believe that was 1980, 1981.
It was 81 in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, the AFC Championship at the old. It was one of those
old
concrete,
Riverfront.
Yeah,
Stadium.
Riverfront. I was about to say Three Rivers.
Yeah,
that's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly. Easy to forget.
They look exactly the same. Well, they did back in that.
The only game colder was the Ice Bowl.
The Ice Bowl.
We're not quite there though.
No,
for a bunch of Southern boys, it feels similar.
We're lucky. We were anticipating to be up on the roof.
Yeah.
And we were very lucky that the hospitality here by Valley View.
Yeah, Valley View been great hosts. They really have.
Here's a much lower kick. It hits a Patriot, but goes out of bounds. It quickly darted to the feet of Ja'Cory Smith, and he was struggling to pick it up. The ball goes out of bounds. A flag was picked up. I think
they'll waive that.
They should waive it because it hit the feet of Ja'Cory Smith.
Right. Yeah, it was touched by a Patriot before it went out of bounds. So they'll be able to keep the ball. They'll set it up. I understand that the mentality they're trying to create something, but that's you're giving them. Oh, they're not going to wave it off, even though it hit a Patriot.
And okay, so
coaching staff for Valley View appropriately upset because that definitely went off a Patriot. You said it was Ja'Cory. I wasn't.
It was Ja'Cory.
I was looking farther downfield. So now Parkview set up in great position to start the second half.
Well, maybe we can. I don't know if we can see a replay of that anytime soon. We didn't have the sideline camera because that was on the near side. Emmanuel Bunting in at quarterback. Ball at their own 45. Cameron Settles in at running back. Trips formation is there's Money, Folks, and Penny. Left side, screen pass, looking for Money. And he's going to be wrapped up after a 2-yard gain. The pass was a little bit forward from where Elston was standing because he had to reach out, fully extend his arms to bring that ball down. Wasn't moving either.
They're not giving him forward progress either. That's a terrible spot by this line judge was having a tough go of it here to start the second half.
The official on the far side, he marked it as a 2-yard gain.
And he was correct. He got it right from 53 yards away.
A little bit of controversy here to start the third quarter. Dak Crosby this time. Look out. Still gets away. Trying to find his blocker. Spins away. And down at the 49-yard line, he made a play. That could have been disastrous.
Could have been a good 5 to 10 yard loss, no doubt. He was able to and showed a lot of strength by taking a good hit. Now 3rd and long, but 3rd and manageable for Parkview. Really don't want to have to kick the ball away here to start the second half.
Now 3rd down and 6. Looking to cross the 50-yard line. The Valley View fans not giving up yet. Making some noise for their defense. Bunting. Near side through the hands of Kyrick Folks.
Yeah, Kyrick's going to be mad at himself. He definitely feels like it, and he's not wrong. Should have picked that one in the air. That was right at him. And now 3 and out, not something we've seen a lot this year. Haven't seen it at all tonight for Parkview. And now for the first time tonight in punt formation.
Yep, that's Solomon Aguilar, who was working on his punts. The first thing he warmed up with during the pregame warm-ups, actually. He's been warming up his punts. It was Man normally punting the ball. A high snap. A good punt away, though. It's going to take a Parkview roll. The Patriots doing a good job getting in front of it to let it roll.
Chris Edwards doing his best to help push it downfield. He was Chris was right there. Almost could have caught the punt where he was standing. Nice job for Valley View to come out and shut Parkview down to start the second half. Now can they follow it up offensively? They got a long way to go, but when you're down 20 points to start the second half, it's about getting some success early, making yourselves feel like you're in the ball game. Right now, they have their defense answered the bell. Now can the offense do the same?
Start this drive from their own 13. I'm not seeing Drew Gartman on the field. They'll give a direct snap to Parker King and takes a big hit in the backfield.
I believe that was Jaden McMillan that came up to lay the wood right there. You're right. I don't see number 2 on the field
no number
right now.
2. Just a direct snap to Parker King. They're running a bit of a wildcat here.
I'm looking to see for anywhere on the sideline.
I'm not seeing a backup quarterback either, so this is an interesting formation. Now 2nd and 11. Direct snap to King again. He's not going to throw it. He's going to try to punch it up the middle. A scrum approaching the 15-yard line. That's where they'll call him dead.
And we're seeing number 16 is coming into the ball game. That is Madden Tatum. I did see him earlier in the game throwing the ball around. We don't have any reports from the coaching staff or any of the administration about the health of Gartman. I did see him holding his arm a little bit at the end of the half. I thought maybe he just took a bad blow, but it certainly didn't look like it was anything. But that was right before, it was after the interception, before they went to the kneel down.
Tatum quickly handed the ball off to Carter Wallace. Only gains a yard, if that. And now he's going to bring up 4th down for the Blazers.
And now they're going to run in Levi Manning out. He's a quarterback / punter.
Okay.
Let me make sure it's Levi Manning, not Eli Manning out on the field.
No relation either.
I can't imagine. If it is, it's distant. Because if it were closer, I think we'd have seen him already tonight.
I'm not seeing Drew Gartman on the sideline.
We hope that we could get some sort of feedback on that. I hate to see that. He's such a dynamic player.
Jermaine Penny, takes a big hit, returning the punt. As he was tackled by Carter Wallace, but luckily Jermaine Penny shook off that pain that he had in his ankle earlier in the game. So it's
the lack of I'm sorry, dude. Sorry, Tripp. The lack of Drew Gartman on the field kind of casts a shadow over the second half of this game. You know, obviously for Parkview, you just want to take care of business, see if you can get another touchdown on the board, and start to think about getting home with the dub. But if you're Valley View, Gartman is everything.
Yes.
Like, he is by far the best player on the field for them.
He was the most talked about player during our keys of the game and key players. So not having him on the field is definitely affecting Valley View. Now Cameron settles up the middle, an explosive run into the red zone.
That's the first time we've seen that tonight, Tripp, where they were really to take advantage of that smaller 3-man front. Nice surge offensively right there by Parkview on the offensive line to just push forward, reset the line of scrimmage, and boy, we've seen 27 hit those holes all season long. I thought he was going to the house right there. Bunting out of the game right now. Quentin is in. Quarterback is still on this drive.
And we're going to have a timeout. And it's by the Blazers.
I mean, this is I mean, I know we're just in the third possession of the half.
Yeah.
But this may be the ball game for Valley View. I mean, especially if Gartman can't continue. He does everything for them. He accounts for more than 3,000 yards of total offense for them this season.
Yeah.
He is the straw that stirs the drink. Everything works through number 2. If he's not out there, then you really kind of have to wonder what can Valley View do offensively. And if you give up another touchdown right here, Parkview is as good as anybody in the country at smelling blood and going for it.
Someone mentioned if Man was playing tonight, he is dressed out and he was a team captain.
He was. It was good. It was a good lift just to see him out on the field.
Yes. Here's Quentin Murphy in at quarterback. Gonna throw this time. Looking end zone. Jump ball. Elston can't bring it down. He tried to grab it around his defender. But
I think he went up a little early, misjudged that jump little bit. Was probably hoping he might get a call on that one as well.
Maybe.
Good job discipline-wise out there on the far side for Valley View. That looks like that was R.J. Estrich, the sophomore cornerback, who showed up really well against Morrilton last week. Nice job of not running into the receiver, which easily could have done on that play.
Murphy is still in at quarterback here on 2nd down and 10 from the 19-yard line, and Q's going to keep it. Murphy! Oh, what a good tackle. That's a lower body tackle, though. So very dangerous if you're hitting Q. That was Richardson on the tackle, and that's not a good sign.
He came in.
Quentin Murphy is limping a little bit.
Yeah, he took a bump right there. He seems to be okay. They may go ahead and bring E-Man back in.
They might want to take him out because he's been struggling with that ankle and foot injury all season long. It's a big reason why we haven't seen him on the field all season long, and
Cam kind of missed that block right there, too. I hate to say it, but he just Richardson just came in so fast.
Here's Bunting again. Back at QB. He's going to throw. E-Man fires, looking for money in the end zone. Touchdown, Parkview! Cha-ching to Money Elston.
What great touch on that pass by number 7. E-Man has been impressive all year with the zip. and the decisiveness with his ball. But this time he just was just perfect touch and really put it only where number one could get it. There was no other way that no defender was able to get a hand on that ball because he threw it towards the front pylon, but it was either going to go over Money's head or it was going to get caught. Perfectly executed.
Extra point is good.
Another perfectly executed PAT.
And here we go on the replay right here. Just watch Bunting just step, throw, nice toss in the bucket. There's only one person who's going to catch that ball, and it was number one.
That is exactly what they were working on during warm-ups, too, is the QBs were, and as well as Montrell Thompson, he was out there as well warming up with Q and E-Man. So
it's the ability to just basically throw it in the bucket is such a specific skill for a quarterback. Because you think about, obviously, you want somebody who can throw it on a rope 25 yards downfield, and somebody who can really put some air under it and throw it 50 yards downfield. But those intermediate throws of 20 to 25 where you can put it on a dime with a little loft, like that's incredibly difficult. Well done by E-Man right there.
I mean, E-Man's spiral is one of the tightest I have ever seen as a high school quarterback. And
we're looking live here in the booth and can see in the other semifinal right now, Lakeside beginning to create some separation. They're now up 35-15 against Farmington up in Northwest Arkansas tonight.
Manuel Bunting still has a year of football left to play after this season concludes. He's a junior.
Yeah, he's going to be a lot of fun to watch next year.
I'm excited to see him in his senior year. And a good tackle that time by Chris Edwards on the kickoff return.
Saw both.
Kevin Ellis was there as well.
I saw Levi Manning heading towards the huddle now, heading to the sideline. Now the anticipation is about who's going to be taking snaps for the Blazers.
Lester's in the shotgun.
We
Here
kept
he goes,
talking
straight
about
drop.
Drew Gartman as really the offense for Valley View revolves around him, and it has done so all season long. He's probably the biggest factor for why they're coming into this game 12-0.
Oh, undoubtedly. So now Tatum is back in at quarterback.
Now Tatum looks to throw. Look out. And they might have gotten away with a bit of a hold that time. He's going to throw it out of bounds, incomplete.
Yeah, he was just lucky to get that one away.
Yeah,
that's the thing, Gartman, we've seen throughout the first half, even on the two interceptions. One was a tip, and kind of hard to put that too badly on him. The other one was a bad throw. But that was like one of the only two bad throws he had on the entire first half. He was so good. But he's so poised. He was able to handle the rush and get out of bad plays.
2nd down and 10. Tatum will hand it off. And, oh, my goodness, he's just picked up and thrown down. I mean,
at this point, if you are...
And he's hurt. He is down.
Yeah, he got hammered pretty good. You wonder if on that there was I don't want to speculate it, but you just kind of, when you see something like that, you wonder if they're on the bottom. He hit his head on the bottom of the pile.
It looked like he just hit a wave, a tidal wave.
Well, so if you value, a real big challenge for their coaching staff right now.
Yeah.
Because everything they do runs through Gartman. He's not available at the moment and may not be available for the rest of the night. I don't see him even on the sideline anywhere. Now I see him, but he's way back. He's not. It does not look as though he is an option at the moment, certainly. If you run everything through him, now you can just key in on these runs and force this backup quarterback to make decisions.
That was Anthony Felice on that previous carry, and he was down for a moment but able to walk it off on his own power. Madden Tatum is still in the game at quarterback. He's going to roll out to his left. Tatum will fire and almost caught, but with one hand by Parker King. That ball looked like it kind of just died out there on that throw.
Yeah, that ball was in the air for a very long time. And that is against Parkview, that's not something you want to do.
No.
And I understand you're trying to get to Parker. I mean, if you're going to throw to somebody, you're going to throw to Parker King or Andrew Jones. They're easily their two best receivers.
As you were saying, Drew Gartman's down there. He has his helmet on. I'm not sure
how likely we are to see him play again.
Nobody's around. He's not talking to any of the coaches. He's behind a couple of players. Man, I hate to see that for him. As a senior, as a leader on this team, as you mentioned, he was All-State as a receiver last year. He's definitely All-Conference, maybe an All-Stater and quarterback this year. More than 3,000 yards of total offense combined. And really a fun quarterback to watch play. And right now, I'm just afraid we're not going to get to see him back out on the field again. And for Parkview, now it's time to, again, we talked about blood in the water. Now it's time to be a shark. Go get it and put this thing away.
As we look in live to the game between Lakeside and Farmington, up in Northwest Arkansas, the Rams lead the Cardinals 35-22. Pretty surprising one, because Farmington's offense has just been one of those teams that can score 40-plus or 50-plus every week.
Very much like Valley View. They're running into an athletic, powerful defense and Hot Springs Lakeside team that we're quite familiar with.
Yeah. There's Bunting, hands off to Money. Money. Wow, his acceleration was so quick, and it's very, very fortunate for Valley View that they were able to wrap him up and bring him down after a gain of 9. Because for a moment, it looked like he was probably going to take it for 6. That would have been
Glad to see him get that movement. He's got a little hitch in his giddy up right there. I hate to see those when they got one leg tackle and then everybody comes in. That's where injuries can happen. But he looks to be okay, stretching out that right leg just a little bit, but still in the ball game.
Second down and about an inch. There's Money again, trying to gain a yard. They're going to wrap him up at the 30. I don't know if he got to the line to gain. It's going to be very, very close.
No gain.
Why there's a
The
clock
chains are moving.
stoppage. Oh, they did call it a first down. Okay.
They're going to call it a first down, so.
Looked like he was a yard short from when they initially were lining up.
He might have had the forward progression stopped after he
We're
had
making
that
up for it
game.
after the first drive of the game where this side judge didn't give forward progress.
Now ball at the 31, just shy of it.
Who we having at quarterback right now? It looks like Q
I
maybe
think that's
back
Quentin
in.
Murphy. And it is. He's going to run it. And tripped
Nice
up
tackle.
after a 2-yard gain.
That was a real nice tackle. 10 versus 10. Ryland McNamee was able to get the first wrap in there and knock down Quentin. He had a head of steam building, and
We have a blazer
now we
down
got another
now.
blazer down. This was a delayed effect.
Yeah, kind of
I wonder if it's a cramp.
must be.
Yeah, they are working on the lower. Look on the right leg. We're not in a position where we can really see the number of the young man that's on the floor. It's number 48.
Yeah, that's 48. He was in the mix-up there. That's Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob Casano. He was in the mix-up there, and he was limping as he was.
Just got wrapped up.
Yeah, he got in the wrap-up. He was kind of limping a bit as he got back on his feet, and
I
he couldn't
see him
stay in.
coming off the field. He already has a brace on that right ankle.
Yeah. So it's going to be second down and 7.
Our producer Will tells us that Lakeside is on the move. We'll maybe take a look in there just a moment. Where we have a stoppage of right now. We can flip over and see.
Oh wow, they're extending their lead, 41-22.
Yeah, Rams punched it in.
And if you remember, Parkview played Lakeside earlier in the year. It was senior night on Halloween night. It was a pretty competitive game. There's Bunting, looks to throw, far sideline, picked off. And now Valley View is going to get themselves a pick 6. R.J. Estrick.
That's that sophomore that we talked about early in the game. He is a game changer for them even as a sophomore. He was able to shut down part of that, basically take away that side of the field against Morrilton. Just left, it was really one of the worst decisions that we've seen E-Man make. Just locked in on that one receiver the whole time.
That was Estrick's second pick 6 of the season.
And now,
I believe his 8th interception.
If you're Valley View, like this is the spark that you need, because offensively it's going to be a struggle for the rest of the night.
PAT is up. I thought
I stuttered for a moment because I thought Ja'Cory Smith got a hand on
It
it.
looked like he did.
Because he was rushing in hot, and now Parkview still leads by 20, 34-14.
As Brody Dix, the PAT, successful by Brody. He's got a pretty good leg, 17. He showed against Morrilton the ability to get it to the end zone on the kickoff. I think, now they've obviously, the two kickoffs that they've had thus far tonight, up to now, have both been pooch and then an onside.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it all be surprised to see them kick short again here? Because you've got to try to generate momentum and generate field position if you're Valley View. Because if Parkview is able to keep them inside their 30 to start their drives without their number one quarterback, it's definitely going to be, we've seen already, they have a hard time moving the football. Because now Parkview can just key on that run.
Yeah.
And they're going to dare you to pass the ball.
Mm-hmm. Now we got to focus on getting this kickoff return, because like you said, they've been kicking it fairly short, and a couple of times, especially the first kickoff, they lined up as if they were about to kick an onside. Instead, they pooched it, and Cameron Settles ran it to the Valley View 20 on that return. So now Parkview is going to have to stay on their toes and be careful, because it looks like Parkview, they're not going to send anybody beyond the 35. They're going to keep it close.
They'll let it go deep if they want to kick it deep. I think that's a smart decision. Get your hands team up and be prepared for whatever types of onsides that they've shown on tape this year.
It's Brody Dix teeing the ball up, and he is lining up as if he is going to try to make the ball bounce a bit. It's going to be an onside. Ellis got it.
Nice job. Nice job by Ellis. Not doing anything silly right there. Catch the ball, get to the ground, secure it.
Yeah.
Now you get to go and try to run the football again and try to reestablish your dominance in this game. Because that pick six is, if you're Valley View, that is manna from God. Like, that is exactly what you needed.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, if you're Parkview, let's reestablish what we do well. Let's run the football. Let's try to put this away. And if you're Parkview, actually, let's take some time off the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
And see if we can establish some dominance with the run.
Two Razorback commits in the backfield in the gun. Quentin Murphy and Cameron Settles with 4 wide. Murphy takes it up the middle, breaks a tackle, and crosses the 50-yard line.
He's running like a fullback right now. He is just so strong and determined to lean forward. He keeps his shoulder pads even and straight, and he is lowering his shoulder and getting forward. Every time we see him with the ball when he's tackled, Q is leaning forward and trying to get that extra yard. He is really showing some fight. He's clearly feeling better, healthier than he has been in a while. And I'm happy to see him keeping those shoulders square, because he's had that shoulder ding for the first half of the season.
Here's Settles this time. Cameron Settles breaks away. Gets a first down and then some down the sideline. Cameron Settles finally wrestled down to the 10-yard line.
Nice job. Patient run there by Cam. He really did a nice job of setting up those blocks on the far side. Again, downfield blocking, something that Parkview does extremely well. And he was able to not tiptoe, but kind of work his way patiently around the side and then hit that gas to the sideline. Nice run by Cam right there.
Fantastic run, and now he's at the Valley View 11-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, sets it up now where you can get a first down without a touchdown. More chance to chew some clock here and kind of just establish that run dominance.
Murphy keeps it. Quentin Murphy shaking and baking, and he gets to about the 5-yard line. Looks like they'll spot him at the 6.
Nice job there, again, of making a decision. We saw Q earlier this year kind of tiptoe around a little bit. Maybe it was injury related. Right now, though, he is running like a totally different guy than what we saw back in Magnolia.
Oh, yeah.
He is running with some great determination.
2nd down and 5. Here's Cameron Settles up the middle, trying to punch it in, and he does. Touchdown, Parkview.
Great answer by the Patriots. They did what Parkview does. We talked about it. Keep it simple, stupid. Run the football. That's what they did. They answered the pick six by just jamming it down their throats all the way into the end zone.
Wow. Yeah, I know the way to say it is keep it simple, stupid, but they're keeping it stupid simple, really.
Yeah, it really is. It's just run left, run right, run middle. And when you've got horses like they do in the backfield, you just want to let them run.
High snap. Aguilar's kick is up and good.
Extra point is good.
I know it seems silly in a 41-14 game at this point to say that was an important drive, but I really feel like it was because you needed to answer. Because the last thing you wanted to do was go 3 and out, and then maybe they do catch him. You know, we've seen Parkview get burnt deep a couple of times with missed assignments or a slip. We saw it against Fairview. We saw it against Texarkana, of the ability to just find something down the middle. Now, with this nice little run, just again, keeping his shoulders square, driving to the end zone, nice job of creating a hole by that offensive line. Now, at 41-14, you feel like you've kind of got that separation again.
We've been kind of getting used to leads like this for Parkview, and Valley View has not trailed or seen a team such as Parkview all season long.
No, this is, their non-conference play was not against the stellar opponents. They played a 4A team out of Missouri, beat Poplar Bluff, a team that ended up going 5-5 and losing in the first round of their playoffs. So, but again, you can only play who's in front of you.
Yeah.
It's not their fault that they didn't have a stronger test until now.
No.
But it's also like for them, how do you respond? And now, of course, trying to respond without your best player on the team makes it even more difficult, what was already a challenging situation for them.
Aguilar's got the ball teed up, and the kick is away. Parker King is going to return it again. He makes a good shift running to the far side. And they stop him at around the 40-yard line. That's where they'll mark him out of bounds.
Brought down at the 40-yard line. First down, Blazers.
He did a good job reversing his field.
He did a really nice job,
He faked the Patriots to go left, and he started going to their right. And
you start to see a little bit of attrition. Trip Dale, number 8, limping off the field, a reserve wide receiver, but special teams player. He's been out there all night on special teams. Depth may become a problem here as we head into the fourth quarter with 2:19 to go in the third. Once again, we're seeing number 19 now, Levi Manning, come out, rotating back of quarterbacks now for Valley View.
Let's see what they can do here. Just over 2 minutes left here in the third. They're going to hand it off up the middle.
Nice little slip there.
Good run after the first contact, and gains him about 8 yards.
Carter Wallace did a nice job, sophomore running back, just kind of making himself small to get through that hole. There wasn't much there. We saw when Gartman was in the game, they were really spreading out the Parkview defense. Now we're seeing more of these tight sets. They're going to try to run the ball.
Second down and 3. They give it to Wallace again. I think he barely passed the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think they generously put him right back to the line. I'm not sure he got there. But this is, for Valley View at this point, your playbook shrinks so much. So you have to get to what you know that everybody around your quarterback can do well. One of the things that you can do with a guy like Gartman is he can freelance a little bit, and your playbook expands because if everybody doesn't know what he's doing, at least he does. Now you have to get something where the other 10 guys on the field know exactly what to do.
On third down, Wallace again. Trying to punch through, and he got to the far sideline.
I think it's enough.
I think it is enough. He was out of bounds at the 50, and that was the line to gain, so that will move the chains.
Another nice job by Wallace. He was hemmed up, but he did a nice job of finding a small hole that he could find his way through, like a little mouse. Just squeaked through the smallest crack and was able to get a first down. They keep running this with kind of a spread wishbone almost.
The bad snap. Ball is on the ground. He's got to pick it up and try to throw it, and it is tipped and out of just a chaotic play.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity there
so
for
much
nothing.
going on there. Golly, as Ja'Cory Smith made the defensive play to tip the ball, it was still nearly caught by Parker King after the tip, but falls
Jermaine
incomplete.
Penny coming in trying to pick up the scraps. It was a little bit late. Nice, for all the chaos there, nice job by Manning of not losing himself and just falling on the ball.
Yeah.
Getting the ball, trying to make a play. Now, for all that, it's back to 2nd and 10.
Yep. Very, very lucky that it's not 2nd and 20 now. Now going to hand off to Wallace, trying to gain some yards. He lost one.
his forward progression was stopped a yard behind the line to scrimmage.
Yeah, that was another a good job of the offensive line. I mean, defensive line kind of slipping through. It looked like that was Micah Johnson coming off the left edge and really blew that play up from the start. They've been running away from my man Jeremy Edwards.
Yeah, I
they
think
really
so.
have been running to the right a lot. But you know, on the only other times that they've been able to get outside have been on the Gartman scrambles.
Only 1 yard in their own territory at the 49, 3rd and 11. Gonna look to throw here. Look out, pressure coming. Here comes Ja'Cory Smith, and down he goes.
That's a loss of almost 20 yards there, Trip. That is, again, inexperience at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Great pass rush, just a great pass rush. But he was unable to pull himself away and get his shoulders turned to where he could throw the ball deep. He just didn't have the opportunity to kind of move his hips and get in a throwing motion to get rid of the ball.
Whew. Fourth down. Or the fourth quarter. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to the clock at all. I was so interested in the action.
He was trying to get
it's
rid
gonna
of
go
it,
into fourth.
but he had
We're
to
going to
eat
keep
it,
it
yeah.
right here. We got nowhere to go because this has just been a super, super hype ball game. We're 12 minutes away from to see who's going to make it to the state championship game. Now let's take another live look at the other end of the bracket. Farmington, they're still fighting. They're trying to come back against Lakeside as Lakeside leads 41-30. I think they just scored, they just scored another touchdown right then and there. So from the looks of it, if the score here,
Just saw a flag come in.
so the scores here persist and remain, we're going to see a Halloween rematch.
That'd be, you know, I
Get your
know.
mic back in front.
Sorry, I had to get a drink of water. I know Man would like to make a return against the team that knocked him out.
That was the game where he got hurt. And now a quick kick on 4th and nearly 30. Here's Jermaine Penny with the return. Enjoy the show. Jermaine Penny! Here he goes, trying to race down the far sideline. And he finally gets wrapped up at about the 28-yard line.
Nice job on the return. Obviously, Parkview gets away. Ja'Cory Smith with a little shove in the back that they decided not to throw the laundry on. Nice job though, Penny. He's just so dangerous back there. He's able to find the side and make a decision and run. That's one of the things I've said many times, but I love about this team.
Yeah,
is they do not hesitate when they have a hole, when they see a hole, they go for it and they go for it immediately. And that's what Penny did, and now, you know, inside the 30, to start the fourth quarter.
And in great field position, too, as they're at the 28-yard line, 1st and 10. Fantastic return there by Penny, and now here's Bunting.
Bunting back, yeah.
Penny in motion, they'll give to him on the touch pass. Jermaine Penny. They got to just wrap up on his ankles every time just to slow him down. They've been doing that pretty frequently here tonight.
Yeah, Jay Taylor with the tackle right there. Nice job of coming up. They really have done a good job. I mean, they have had so many of those ankle tackles that have prevented touchdowns or chunk plays for Parkview. This game could be much more one-sided if not for those.
Quentin Murphy coming back into the game now on 2nd down and 8 from the Blazer 26.
Yeah, Parkview is continuing now. They're running exclusively out of this power run package.
Jermaine Conway in motion. Give to Cameron Settles. Settles up the middle, gets to the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, Conway with a nice seal block right there. Gave Cam the angle. And then shout out to Travis Worsham blocking downfield. He had his man all the way down to the 10-yard line right there.
So we have another injury timeout as, man, just such a physical game.
This is where the sheer size and strength of Parkview is beginning to take its toll.
Yeah.
You know, Valley View, for as good as they have been, and they're too deep. They don't run a lot of two-way players.
No.
But they're this defense has been on the field for a long time, pretty much the entire second half already.
It
They've
really
been out
has,
there.
yeah. And it's just Parkview is one of those teams that just is so physical game in and game out. Is that number 24 who's down? That's Nick Gamble.
Holding his shoulder as he's coming up a little bit.
Haven't seen any repeat injuries, but a lot of, that's bad news for Valley View because so many different players are getting, picked off the field, getting hurt, and, you hate to see that for them because.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm familiar with that shoulder hold. That's a very painful injury.
Yeah, it does not feel nice.
I'm going to try to reset.
3rd and 1. Murphy's going to keep it. Hugh gets the first down.
Yeah, nice tackle there. We saw 25, Noah Wendell come in with a nice hit, but too little too late. Q just so big and strong and, again, decisive with the run. I will credit to Valley View for their coaching staff and the players. They have been able to hold up pretty well against the run with this 3-4 front. Those outside linebackers have done a pretty good job of staying outside, and the middle linebackers have really filled those gaps in a way I did not anticipate.
There's Bunting in at quarterback. And a give to Cameron Settles. Cameron Settles is tripped up before he gets to about the 11-yard line, maybe the 12.
Once again, a shoestring-type tackle saves a touchdome.
It's been the most frequent stop that Valley View's defense has made all night.
Really, it has been a pretty they've saved several yards and a couple of touchdowns just by getting one last swipe. And that's coaching, really. I mean, some of it's luck, yes, but it's also they're clearly coached. Like, never give up. If you get your hand on a guy, you've got to do something to try to bring that man down.
Dak Crosby in at running back. Bunting gives to Dak. Bit of a miscue there as Bunting was handing off to his right, and Dak went to the left.
Yeah, that's younger player usually has to wear that one in terms of responsibility. But Dak gets a little bit less playing time than his classmate. Now you're back up 3rd and 11 or so. At this point in the ballgame, you really are trying to run clock and get out of here with the win.
I honestly can't wait to see the development that both Dak and Emmanuel have over the offseason because they're already explosive enough. Just wait till what happens for their senior seasons next year.
Yeah, give them time to work together in the offseason.
And a reverse. They try to give it to Bunting to throw off the trickery, and he had to run it up the middle. It looked like it was a bit of a double reverse. Dak gave to Money. Money tried to toss it out to E-Man.
And you had Conway standing almost completely by himself downfield.
Yeah.
You could have pulled that off. He had it wide open.
It didn't look like it. Bunting must have not gotten the memo that Money was going to toss it back to him to throw. I guess he thought it was going to be another double reverse because we've seen that a couple of times this year.
We have seen that. You're right.
So he obviously wasn't ready for it. Now here comes Solomon Aguilar, going to kick it from the right hash. There's going to be a 33-yarder with Elliott Bumpers holding.
See if we can make up for the previous miss here.
Good snap, good hold, good kick. It is up and away, and it is through.
Yeah, he got good foot on the ball that time. I think on the miss, he caught it just a little fat. You can see he pushed it and it didn't have the distance that he usually gets. That was perfectly executed and pushes the lead out to 30 now with 7.5 to go.
44-14 is not a score I anticipated in this game.
I did.
As a Parkview fan, you want it to be like this, but honestly, coming into this game, I was a bit nervous because we saw the numbers that Valley View was putting up all season long, having very dominant wins, so we didn't really know what we were getting into. Granted, we have, both these teams have seen very different opponents, but the point still stands that it's these teams have scored very similar numbers throughout their wins this season.
And I do think with the with the quarterback situation for Valley View really stymies their ability to mount any sort of comeback. And of course, nobody can anticipate 2 touchdowns off of interception.
Yeah.
3 because now the Valley View has one as well. That's the first time I've ever been in a game where I've seen 3 interception returns for touchdown. But it's just looking at them on tape, looking at them on paper is a little bit different. You see them line up. They're just Valley View's had a very good season. They should be very proud of what they've done. They're just running into a physically superior football team.
A great line drive kick from Solomon Aguilar. Not something we've seen frequently from him, but he nailed that ball all the way to the goal line. And that's going to put Valley View at their own 20.
And go back to quarterback roulette for Valley View, see which one of these backups comes back onto the field. Again, no word from the Valley View staff or administration as to what the injury is that has knocked Gartman out of the game. Just hate to see it because he really is a fun player to watch. And I hate that this is his last game.
And not having him on the field has just been the dagger for Valley View tonight, especially in the second half.
That's well said. I mean, that really is kind of the tale of the second half.
Now here's a touch pass. He might have stumbled with it, but he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield with guys like Jeremy Edwards wrestling him down for a huge loss of about 5 yards. I believe that was Dale.
Among the other things that you lose when you lose somebody like Gartman is just you lose the ability to do any sort of play fake.
Yeah.
Because they're just not going to bite. I mean, they could run 4 seams every play, and it'd probably be just as effective as running the football.
Now going to roll out to his right and try to fire, and tipped and almost picked off by Ja'Cory Smith. He had it in his hands twice.
Penny was right there. He had his hands underneath it waiting to catch the ball. If it fell out of Ja'Cory's hands, and he tipped it again.
I can't. Is Ja'Cory wearing gloves tonight? Surely he is with how cold it is.
One would think.
It looked like for a minute it looked like he was just kind of barehanded. Yeah, he is wearing gloves.
He needs to put the extra stickum on there. That was another pick that was just
Ja'Cory
dropped.
Thankfully for him, he still has another year of football to play next year, so he's gonna work on his hands for sure during the offseason. Now, quick screen pass near side, has a man wrestling out of bounds. Jace White was there, as well as Kevin Ellis making the stop, knocking Lyard Cullen out of bounds, and now it's 4th and 10 and a half.
Yeah, another 4th and very long. 7 minutes to go in the ball game. They're keeping the offense out there, but again, Manning is listed as a quarterback / punter. Wouldn't it all be surprised to see a quick kick situation here?
We'll see what they do. They're kind of lining up as they would as Levi Manning gets ready, and the ball is on the ground. A delayed kick. Looked like it's going to be blocked by Ja'Cory. It's going to take a Blazer roll to about the 38.
Yeah, fortuitous drop, if you would almost say, because it gave them a chance to.
Yeah.
It knocked off the entire return program that Parkview had set up. Now 6:20 to go. Trip. It's 30-point ball game. You know, if you're Parkview, you just want to again pound it. See if you can. Obviously, if you can break one, great. If you can put together a 10-play drive and punch in the last one, get the clock running to wrap it up even more quickly. But you're just trying to hold on to the football, don't give it away, and get out of here without anybody else needing more tape before the end of the ball game, because you want to make sure you're healthy heading into next week.
Quentin Murphy and Dak Crosby in the gun. A bit of a delay by Q, handing off the ball to Dak. I'm not sure what happened there, the miscue between the two. Let's see how they can bounce back here on a 2nd down and 13.
Well, and to our point of making sure that you don't lose anybody to injury, I do not see Mr. Settles or Mr. Elston anywhere on the field right now.
And honestly, that's a good sign, because we didn't really see much of them getting hurt or dinged up at all. So honestly, it's a good idea to rest them.
I think that's this is a coach's decision, not a personnel or injury issue.
Now here's Bunting handing off to Crosby, and Dak makes a couple of guys miss, escapes a shoestring tackle, still on his feet,
finally wrestled down did he lose the football?
He did, but Johnny on the spot right there. Who do we get to dap up? Oh, my main man, Jermaine Conway, our underrated tight end.
Yes.
He was right there, fell right on the ball. Nice job by Valley View, definitely trying to rip and trying to get the ball out of Dak's hands.
Now 3rd down and 4, good run by Dak. Here comes Kyron Marshall out of the field, gonna sub in for Dak. I like seeing Solomon Aguilar down there warming up his kick on the on the sideline. Every time I glance around, I'm seeing him doing some kind of kicking motion. Right now, he's kicking the ball into the net. And here's Money. Elston makes a good cut. He's got to go upfield, and they might have stopped him just shy of the line to gain. He was
very close, very close.
He's
looking at the spot here. Bring up the field glasses, see where they get him.
You see Brad Bowling pointing at the stick, saying you got to pass here because they're close.
They're gonna look at it.
Yeah, you know, Money. He's been using his shiftiness all year long. He's one of those guys who's super duper quick when he's running in full stride, but also he can break your ankles as well. So he might have been trying a little bit too much. Now it's a 4th and short situation. They're just probably going to try to punch it through and get to the 50.
Wow, I am a little surprised. You had 2 officials pointing first down, but the white hat said no. So we're going to run another play here.
Here we go. We run a QB sneak. It looks like they may have gotten it.
What do we call it?
They're going to call it down at the 50-yard line, so that's a yard beyond the stick, so that's going to move the chains.
We call that the Parkview push. It was lined up in that wedge and just use strength and leverage to get forward for the first down. And just sitting here watching this clock tick, tick, tick. This is what you want to do. As a road team, you want to come in and you want to see the fans for the opponents leave early, and we're starting to see some of that.
Yep. 1st and 10 from the 50. And off to Money. There's Elson running the near sideline. Now makes a cut going upfield, gets the first down and goes out of bounds. So
there's number 28, Will Finley, in pursuit there, sophomore defensive back. It's just for somebody like him, he's a sophomore for Valley View, you want to get him some snaps and some playing time. He's never seen somebody like that before. He thought he had Money in his sights, and he did have him in his sights. He just didn't have the speed to catch up to him. This is like that extra little gear that players like the Division I athletes have that most of high school kids don't have.
Here comes Kyron Marshall back into the game.
Where we're seeing a lot of the the specialists moving around. Offensive line looks like our main 5 are still out there.
Here's Elston again. And another shoestring tackle down at the 36. That's really the only way you can stop Money.
Yeah, and he's got, these ankle tackles make me nervous, especially in a game like this.
As a tall man who suffered quite a couple of lower body injuries, it's making me a little bit worried, but have no fear. We have Marcus Barnes coming into the game for the first time tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to cycle Money out. That may be his final carry of the night.
Glad to see Marcus in at running back. He's super, super fun to watch.
Yeah, big, strong guy at the back.
They give to him. Here's Marcus Barnes. Look at how fast he is. That kid's a sophomore.
Marcus Barnes.
What a bright future he has at running back.
So explosive, just big, strong. I look at him, a guy who's going to crush you between the tackles, but he also has that gear, that little twitch that you look for. He's gonna draw the attention of a lot of colleges over the next 2 years.
Oh yes. Now what you want to do if you're Parkview, especially if you're Emmanuel Bunting, the play clock right now is at 20 seconds. So you just kind of want to let it roll for as much as you can.
Yeah.
As each play progresses. Both teams, well, Valley View only has 2 timeouts left.
Can't imagine them
no use for them to
at
use
this point. Yeah.
1st and 10. Barnes up the middle. They were ready for him that time.
Valley View crashed the ends that time.
Yeah,
they
he
were
lost
ready
2
for
yards.
it.
Loss of 2 on the play brings up 2nd down, 12.
No 2-minute timeout here. Play clock at 35, and we are just rolling along.
Continuing to roll it, yeah.
Yep, our season is coming to a close. This is the final game of our broadcast season, as contractually only PBS Arkansas can do the only type of video broadcast for the state championship games. Our very own Will Watkins has
part of the staff, production staff for those every single game. So unless we were a hometown radio station specifically affiliated with Parkview, that'd be the only reason we could broadcast the state championship game. Here's Marcus Barnes again to the 20, to the
Just
15. He's still churning. He might have gotten, they're going to call him just short of the line to gain.
On the carry.
But yeah, once again, this is the last Parkview football broadcast, and my goodness, what a season it's been for us.
Yeah, it's been a good time, Trip. I've really enjoyed being able to broadcast with you this season.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a fun team to broadcast with, and a fun production team to be a part of.
And up to Marcus Barnes again, and he got the first down, and really, they're just milking the clock as much as they can. They're going to call it a fourth down, so I thought he had the forward progression at the stick, but maybe not.
I think we're seeing some extra creative spotting of the ball.
From the looks of it, though, there's about a 2-second difference between the game clock and play clock. There's no more football to be played. For the third straight year, the Parkview Patriots have earned their Everett ride to the finals. The blaze has been extinguished. Valley View will go home with their tails tucked between their legs. Parkview dominates in Jonesboro.
Really, dominates is the right word. This is a full experience, from top to bottom. Yes, it got away from Valley View in the second half when they lost their quarterback. I want to say publicly, really hope everything is okay.
Yeah.
For Drew Gartman, he's just a really, really good football player. A lot of fun to watch. I hope he's okay. I hate that this is how his season and his career at Valley View has ended. It's not like college where you can transfer and do a grad transfer somewhere. This is the end for him. A great athlete, very, very good football player. Hate that. But to Parkview, time to go take state, Trip. This is what the season was all about. This is what this is what we began the season talking about. Down in Melissa, playing Bryant, is you play these top-tier teams in order to get ready for the grind, and came in and knocked off an undefeated team at their place in the cold the day after Thanksgiving in the state semifinal. It's going to be a nice, fun trip back to Little Rock tonight.
Oh, yes. The long drive up I-57 was worth it, coming all the way up here to, we're just outside of Jonesboro, and being the only loss for an undefeated team feels really good, and especially a dominant win. Obviously, like you said, I hate to see careers like Drew Gartman's just end the way it did.
Yeah, just we didn't get any sort of communication from their coaching staff as to what the injury was. He was on the field. He remained in uniform, but clearly was unable to continue. And now we get we see on our cameras here, we got the field cam with the Everett ride to the finals sign for the third time in a row. These seniors don't know anything but state finals. Trip.
Let's talk about these Barrow boys for the remainder of this broadcast, because they absolutely earned this Everett ride to the finals, and they're going to be able to play in their home stadium again, War Memorial Stadium, looking for championship number 3 in a row. Oh my goodness, I'm just getting emotional just for thinking, because I'm a sentimental guy, and just being able to be a part of this team has been such a privilege.
It's been such a ride.
Yeah.
We watched this team grow. We entered the season with Quentin as QB1.
Yeah.
And he looked great.
Yeah.
But then, injury, had a hard time holding on the ball, and probably because of the injury. And then he was able, but then we saw E-Man come through, speaks with the depth of this team and the belief that they have in him. And then you see guys like Cameron Settles and Montario Elston come through. And then when Omarion Robinson, man falls, everybody comes up around him.
Yeah.
The defense doesn't fall apart after losing kind of like their star, and we had enough offensive depth on the edge to make up for it. It's just a complete team. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's been a real pleasure to be a part of this ride. And the ride's not over.
No.
Maybe it's over for us, but it's not over for them. I'll be there on Saturday. Can't wait to see them.
1 game, 4 quarters is all it's going to take for a third straight ring. And as
from last we saw, we don't have a new update, but last we saw, it looks like it's going to be a 5A South final.
yeah, a
As
rematch.
Lakeside was up by 2 scores over Farmington. So, interestingly, both 5A South teams had to go on the road, one to the northeast part of the state, one to the northwest part of the state, to take on teams that have been.
Oh, it's close now.
Oh, we're going to do live act. Yeah,
As we
nice
see
job.
our live
we'll flip
look
it over,
in.
48-45.
Yeah,
My
Farmington's
goodness.
fighting back, and now they only trail by 3.
What a turnaround that would be.
Lakeside's moving the ball, but yeah, as you said, what a turnaround. This game looked like it was all Rams, and now here they are battling.
Yeah, they're trying to run
quarter.
the game out too. Don't necessarily think of Lakeside as a power run team, but they are really trying to right now. They need to take some time off that clock and try to punch in another touchdown, because clearly Farmington has some momentum on their side.
As we begin to close out our final Parkview football broadcast of the 2024 season, there's a lot of people that we have to thank, and if I try to name them all, we'd be here for a while, long after this Lakeside Farmington game concludes. So first and foremost, Brett, I want to thank you for joining us on the broadcast. You've been
likewise, Trip.
amazing.
You've been very welcoming, and I appreciate it very much.
You are
I hate
easily
that I wasn't able to be with the ride the whole time.
Hey, it's okay.
But as much as possible anyway.
It's worth it, because you were easily probably, if not the best game analyst that we've ever had on the Natural State
That's
Sports
nice of you to say.
broadcast crew. And I mean it, because my goodness, you've been I don't even have to say anything half the time, and you just carry the broadcast.
Well, it's a lot of fun.
Quality shoots up once you're here.
It's a lot of fun to be a part of, and it's easy. It's easy to talk about these guys because they're so good and they're so well coached, and it is fun to. When we talk about when we do the game analysis, you want to point out things that you don't always see. These guys give us something we don't always see, so it makes it more fun to talk about. We're seeing new things almost all the time.
I want to continue our thank yous, of course. Our main man, the boss behind this whole operation, Will Watkins. I've been singing his praises all season long, and he really deserves that and
Top
more.
shelf.
Been
Absolutely
doing about
top shelf.
He's been doing a 5 to 10 man job as one guy on his own through all the trials and stuff, through working a full-time job and running the entire business for Natural State Sports pretty much on his own. He's been putting up most of the work, that is, as he's been doing a great job. No better broadcast producer for live streams like ours than Will Watkins, and there's no doubt, it's no question why he's part of the production crew for the PBS state championships, and he's going to do all of them next weekend and the weekend after. So big thanks to Will, big thanks to Cameron and Pat, our camera crew tonight, as they've been with us all season long. Big thanks to Kyle Sutherland, Steve Henson, Kristen Henson, just everybody who's been joining us on these crews, and the countless Parkview students and staff who's been joining us, and of course you, the viewers, who's been joining us for each and every game. Oh man, this season flew by.
And it really did, didn't it?
Yeah, and just a final thank you to Coach Brad Boulding and his entire coaching staff and his team. One of the first things Coach Brad Boulding told me, hey, you're part of this program now, you're part of this team. He told me that I could crash in the Keith Jackson facility as much as I want to. If I lived in Little Rock, I'd be at every single practice. You bet I would. I'd be a tackling dummy for him out there. And you bet, despite the fact we're not going to be able to broadcast the game, you bet I'm going to be down there on the sideline with them, cheering them on in this state championship game, because by golly, do they deserve to go out with a third straight. And once again, thank you to everyone who's joined us for one final time in the 2024 season. This is Trip Keeter, the voice of Parkview Patriot football, saying good night from Jonesboro.